a very nice recovery from Saw, because it felt like Nemiga were just winning. And yeah, I tell you what, that bomb would have been defused. Nevertheless, Nemiga are going to force back in. Belcher not going to be boosted. Quite a little sliver of an angle. Peek up and over. This is quite nice, actually. Oh, he gets caught out. That's an incredible entry by Just.
That's also the one player you want to entry on as well, is Belchnok. Idus Balance, a spray through the smoke, Ejux has been eliminated, so it's back to a 4 versus 4, but you've still got this massive advantage for Saw, just in the form of weaponry and utility as well. Roman implementing himself as a lurker early on in Nuke, and allowing the rest of his team to skulk down towards that B bomb site.
Yeah, they are here. And they're just waiting. Just in case Nemiga want to force the issue. 45 seconds. Closest player here is Lear.
Himself as a lurker early on in Nuke.
And I feel like Story's going to catch him up. No, oh, he tucks him around the corner. This is big.
Don't know, because like Story has to hard clear him here. And sometimes I can imagine him not, but Lear gets impatient and he tries to go find some information. And the bomb now is going to rocket its way out of the B bomb site. Roman is going to be behind all these defenders as they are just coming down vents. Is that going to be sound cues? Oh, but Roman reveal himself. Good for the 2. Oh, that's perfect.
No, he tucks him around the corner. This is big.
He's closed off the rotations. And it feels like any hope in this round is just not existent now. And sometimes I can imagine him not, but Lear gets impatient and he tries to go find some information. And the bomb now is going to rocket its way out of the B-bomb
and thrown the Galil away.
Behind all these defenders as they are just
looks like Gio will get a rifle at the very least. That's a Galil he can pick up.
Reveal himself. Good for the 2. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, really nice round. Nice lock in. This is big.
He's
from
closed
Roman.
off the rotations. And it feels like any
pushing the issue. Getting those rotations at the perfect moment when all the noise is coming in on that B-bomb site. Looks like he's on 6 HP. He's just trying to survive. Yeah, I mean, he will, unless he gets hunted.
I think he's going to get hunted. I think Mutarus is right behind him. But, okay. Gio's got to count as lucky stars there. I love how broken the bomb race is on. Like, you can sit on the bomb site and you'll survive. Sometimes it just do be like that. But super good round from the Portuguese boys. And they're just going to force Nemiga on an eco.
A really good start on this T side for Saw. We kind of spoke yesterday about how the T sides of Nuke can be a little bit difficult. Feel like it's got a lot easier. Oh, okay. Over recent times, just basically because of the different iterations of the outside smokes you can put down. There's just so much you can really do, and teams have really been figuring out a way to almost explode onto the A bomb site as well. That's given a lot of angle for round potential as well, I feel. And the fact that Saw's already started strong, they've put Nemiga on this eco, they look pretty good to potentially get this 3rd round. It's all very good early signs. It's exactly what you want, especially on your map pick. You don't want to start that one stumbling.
Yeah, I mean, Saw have done quite well actually recently in other tournaments. Like, they've been playing genuinely pretty decently actually recently, making it back into Challenger for next season, making it to the playoffs with Elisa. They've been invited to the playoffs here. They made it like they had a pretty awful showing at the RMR, but they seem to have like actually bounced back really well after that, and that's something that you don't tend to see. You see teams actually sometimes, if anything, if they do badly at the RMR, they can't bounce back, whereas Saw have.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see that they've also not made changes. They've just really stuck with the belief, because that can happen a lot, and often it can put you further back than necessarily. Like, what am I trying to say? That can also put you back a lot further than if you just stick together. And the fact that they've got Jerks and they've got Story, like, I feel like they're actually really good pickups for Saw. Story's a really good AWPer, and Jerks, sometimes he just pops off and gets like 30 kills in like 20 rounds. It's just a bit like, okay, how have you done that then?
Yeah. I mean, they did like awfully at the minor. The team was the second lowest rated team, like barely above Illumina. Story still played pretty decently though. Story still was like he still like held his own in some aspects. So I think especially going into like matchups like this, if Story can kind of hold his own against like against those type of teams, especially when they're doing so badly, I feel like this could prove to be quite useful going into the future. But for now, all of that aside, we can now just focus on the game. We've got the game at hand in front of us. So they've got these first 3 rounds, and now it's the exciting stuff. Now it's the gun round, and Muterus has already taken a little bit of damage going for that Molotov, but he's very fast. The only problem, okay, so he does get down towards Secret. He has like gone through a war field to get down, but he does it so fast.
Yeah, to be honest, they might not be aware that he's gone. But time has elapsed now to the point where they're going to have to put rotations down towards that position, but they haven't as of yet. Only now you see it, Belchanok going down the bottom of the ramp. His Idis balance can hold with the AWP in towards Hell. Yoga brought down low from the spam as well. And Saw, they've just fallen silent all over the map. It just makes Nemiga just feel really uncomfortable because they've got no information at all.
Yeah, that's always a scary thing with Nuke. When you get the information, sometimes it is just so hard as a CT side being like, what can we do? And in this instance, Nemiga have just held to their guns. They've got 2 players towards ramp and 3 towards A. They're just holding these inside pushes. And it's going to be a fake towards B. There's doors being opened, but the bomb's going towards ramp now, where we'll be met by Belchanok and Idis Balance. And, well, these guys are going to have to hold strong. Idis Balance, honestly, the fact he's got 1 there is super, super impressive. And Idis Balance holding the angle. Oh, he doesn't even land a single shot. That's really not good. He had to hit 1. Nemiga didn't realize they could go down the vent there. So they are just going to be pushing towards ramp, and they're going to send Geo down Secret.
Yeah, Geo's low, though.
Very low. 2 kits as well. They might... Honestly, Brandon, I'd save this.
It depends if they get an opportunity to find a kill, but Roman extends the advantage further. Foster removed, and now Lear, he's gone as well. Okay, now that's that call off. Let's try and save. Let's bring forward the AWP into the next. But that was a very clean round from Saw. What I liked as well, Roman started spamming up towards like top hut, and they were dropping incendiaries in towards the A bomb site, and that just allowed Muterus and I believe it was, I can't remember who the second player was, but they were just out on B, and then they just split back in towards ramp. They got 2 players coming from unders, and then 3 players splitting in from ramp. It was perfect.
I think it was Muterus went down early and then just went down the vent, did he? Or did he go down Secret? But there was 2 down B, so they just walked out B and then took the presence. Belchanok had to fight 1. He gets the first, doesn't get the second. But yeah, really nice from Saw. And I feel like with Nemiga, it's like sometimes you got to learn to cut it off earlier there. B bomb site's super hard to retake, and they try to force the issue unnecessarily. But ooh, Nemiga, speaking about aggression and forcing the issue, they're running into lobby right now, and Foster will get away with his life, but he's not going to get anything with it.
Yeah, cool little Molotov goes in between the door hinge, so it gives over the particles, but lets him run through the door.
The Alexi B molly, I like to call it.
Little cool detail. Belchanok runs away just as that smoke dissipates on ramp. Jerks, I think he spotted out Belchanok. That draws the incendiary. More utility being wasted, but look at Idis Balance. He's got aggressive in towards Squeaky. Roman's gone.
That is exactly the pick that Nemiga needed as well. Roman, who was a very high impact fragger last round, is out for the count. And Saw throwing outside smokes, but not throwing outside smokes. They're throwing one smoke just outside mini. And it actually denies a lot of information from Lear. And in the meantime, the rest of the team will be grouping up towards the B bomb side. For now, Belshrock is actually hiding behind the red box, I'm pretty sure. And Ida Spans will hit this shot this time. Drops the bomb, but he will get hunted down. And look at Belshrock, he's still there. All three players in front of him. He reveals himself at the best moment. 1, 2. Does he get the third? No, he doesn't. But Story with 25 seconds, they know where he is. The bomb still hasn't been picked up, and they're hunting him down.
Yeah, never really gonna win that one. Fun fact, we were talking about like the tenure and where these players have come from. Story at conference was the best player for clutch scenarios. I think he had 9 1vx scenarios in which he won throughout that entire event. So he is known for a clutch, but that one's a little bit difficult, especially when you've got 3 players alive, 25 seconds left. He's now on the preferred weapon of choice for himself, AWP, one out for Idis Balance as well, who did good work getting re-aggressed over towards Squeaky.
Yeah, I remember you were banging on about that on one of the podcasts we were on, being like, he will clutch up. It was so funny. But saw a pop A now, flashes, everything coming through. They need to clear top hut, and they will. Geo doesn't get anything, but Foster bubbles up towards the back of that bomb site, potentially saves them. And Idis Balance from heaven. Ooh, how does he survive that? Gets one and even throws some utility, but the utility won't actually connect. Saw going down towards the vent. The bomb will drop, but Story is still here on the A bomb site, and all 3 Nemiga players will be coming in from main.
I think they've got a pretty good idea that it's B. They're already running down secret. Idis Balance can just hold in case Story thinks about dropping vent. And now it's all up to Muterus, really. He needs to just hold on. And this could be very difficult. We can hear them running towards him, but the jump offsets the crosshair. Belchnock chimes in with the trade. And all Story goes for a no-scope, not quite. Idis Balance is just locking him in.
There is no kit.
It's messy.
Oh my god.
Gentleman's agreement in the vents, no scopes only.
I actually love that.
Will be Nemiga getting consecutive rounds in a row.
And Brandon, I don't know if you're a fan of Age of Empires, but the major for Age of Empires starts today.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Was that it? Is that just your bit?
Yeah. Just something I'm very excited about. I've been waiting for me and my brother. It's like our bonding thing.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but Nemiga, that's 2 in a row for them. They're looking to make it a third. Iris Pants, it's a good name. But, hello? Where have you come from, mister?
There's still 2 more on A.
2 more on A, but the problem is they're just not really holding strong. Geo on top of Hut, they get stuck at each other, but no! Story does actually trade him out, and Belchnock, they know he's towards heaven. I think he knows, he doesn't know where Muterus is, and Muterus is outside, so Saw, they will end that rampage before it gets anything quicker.
I think what was so impressive there is Nemiga's rotations. The fact that it felt like they had 5 on the A bomb site when they didn't. It was just so many players just in close proximity. But Belchnock's really quick on that rotation. He then tries to duck out, but Jerks up and over, drops main within about like 8 seconds. And they're not ready for that at all. Oh, Gio's got an XM.
The best weapon, the alligator gun. See, I got it this time. Animals and me sometimes don't go well together, but this time they do. Even though they've won 2 in a row, Nemiga's money is bad. Idis Balance has their AWP. And Lear, though, that's the pick they needed. With the A1S, the only A1S they have, that's exactly what they need.
Oh, MP9.
Ooh. Why is he running? That's scary.
Idis Balance could take first contact here and then bait in the MP9. Oh, he's missed.
Just die.
That's
I mean, he's baited in the MP9, but the MP9 hasn't done very good at doing anything with that bait, and he will just run away. They're charging him down. They're hunting him on this B-bomb site, and all that ramp presence fell with really just nothing to give for it. Lear, the IGL, is trying to be the hero of the show right now for Nemiga in round number 8. He still can be. He's holding a very nice angle. and they'll peek into him, and he'll win the gun battle. Lear's on for the ace, and he's single-handedly doing everything, just as low. Story's a little bit tagged, and this is prime, perfect for Lear to clutch it out. He even closes the door on them. He actually gives them space to work with. He can pop it back open at any time. He's still standing here as well. Look at the rotation. Foster's come down towards the vent, so he can isolate them if they try go towards double.
20
if
seconds.
they try come up vent, 20 seconds. And Gio's still on A. So if they got vent, then which they're looking like they are kind of trying to do, then Gio's got him. 10 seconds. There's no time left. Like the round's over.
Yeah, what are they doing?
Okay.
Okay.
But they're just going to hunt him down. They're going to not deny the bomb, but Lei will get 4 kills.
I guess by going through control room, you clear out that large area, and then you go, okay, well, they have to be towards decon. Let's plant for double. Let's try and give ourselves. After plants, the Nemiga just don't respect it. As soon as they hear the bomb plant, they know the timer's low, so they just completely collapse on the position.
Great round. Considering the ramp presence just didn't exist, even though they had 2 players there, really just good round from Lear. The IGL, if there was ever a time, that would be it.
And now we're just on Deagles for the Portuguese squad. And Nemiga, this is a perfect round for them not only to close the distance once more, but to do it in a flawless manner where their economy doesn't completely get broken every time Saw threaten it with the rifles.
Oh. This is looking pretty good. Belchnok kind of just boosting his confidence a little bit. 11 kills to 7. Good start. I mean, stepping up to what we expect him to be like. And Foster just, again, same as the others, trying to add some kills to his tally.
Always scares me when players just completely run at others. Like, especially with Deagles, because especially at this level, like, it's just... You gotta take that Deagle seriously. A little bit scary. Doesn't matter. Nemiga, they do it. But now here come the AKs. No AWP for Story. Bit of a cruel mistress on T-side Nuke. I feel like unless you really have the outside control and like once you get in towards Secret, that's where the AWP can become viable, because you can catch off rotations. But until then, it becomes a little bit difficult to use.
And now, with these rifles, they're going to try speed up. Lear with a...
Great
actually,
Ooh.
literally, like, half a second earlier, and it would have landed at his feet. But still, a tickler damage just puts him down low enough so the A1Ss are in one, or M4s for Foster, are 1-shot potential away in the head. And speaking about that, Brandon, I was talking with AZS about this at LAN. I'd love to see a statistic about, like, is it actually does that actually make a difference? Because, like, we were like, yeah, surely.
Does what make a difference?
Like, so say he gets down to, like, 80 HP like he is, and he's one, you can, like, basically the A1S turns into an AK. So it's like, how much of a difference does that make?
Well, significantly, because you only need 1 bullet.
Yeah, but also, right now, Belchnok has just been caught lacking. He was holding towards control, single gets burst open at the same time, and they just kill him for free. That's the B-bomb site relinquished, and that's the round over. Roman's lurking so well today.
He looking real good.
He looking fine.
Yeah, I mean, look, that was just quite a simple one. That was diagonal smokes or Saw, and they crossed close to them so that they couldn't be spotted from heaven, down in towards Secret, and they completely crunch on Belchnok. He's not ready for it, not expecting that many players. Just gets completely removed. Backpack spotted from Decon. Saw get another round back on the board. It's only a couple in a row sometimes for Nemiga, but it's not very consistent. and Saw, they've got that number that we were speaking about before. 6 rounds, it's perfect. In fact, they only came through Decon, and he's looking straight at double.
I don't... Like, did they burst the windows as door opened to master sound? Either way, big shout to our sponsors over at our partners over at BitSkins. Check out the banner down below and go check them out. The partners for the CCT 4, and you can go buy and sell whatever skins you want.
So much utility being lined up right now for this A-bomb site. Looks like they might want to explode onto this. Geo was thinking about going down the vent, but instead he gets stuck in the smoke. Ice balance 2, and Foster drops the bomb.
Yeah, such a good position from Foster up in Mustang. Belchstock with a lovely rotation in heaven as well. Yeah, as quick as he can be, and Muserus in a 1 versus 3 now. I think he has an idea that like what they kind of all are here on the bomb site, so he can at least focus there. He's not scared of a flank at all, though. He seems to be very confident that they're all going to be in front of him.
Well, he knows that the ramp player is Belchinock, knows that the IDIS balance is obviously that other player that now tries to step in and support from hell, so... I don't know whether the door was blown off or not. But either way, he's just holding his ground. He's just relying on the fact that Nemiga are going to give him an advantage a way back into this round. But it feels unlikely. It feels very difficult for him to establish some sort of this. Maybe he can blindside Belchinock, and he does. But look at the elevation. Geo is here, straight above hut roof. And whilst Muterisk does go for the clear, he looks the wrong way. And Geo capitalizes upon it. Nemiga with 5.
Pretty perfect, really. Good shutdown there. But the one thing that we got to look at, and something I don't know if we've mentioned so far, is just the fact that Saw has 6 rounds on the T side of Nuke. So regardless of anything that happens, 6 rounds on this first half is really, really good. And it's putting them in a perfect position in the second half, because Nuke is probably the second most city-sided map, I'd say, in the map pool, apart from Ancient. And you'd be looking at, like, 5 is a good half. 4 sometimes can even be good enough. 6 is really, like, really good. Especially if you're then winning pistol round on the second half. You're putting yourself in a position where you've basically already won the game. And now, we do have Saw, after a tactical pause, still buying back into it. They've got 3 AKs, a Galil, a Tech 9, and Lear. He's very close outside. He's had good rounds so far, but Jerks jumping around. That's a great entry frag for the Portuguese side early on in this round.
They're so good at just getting this secret control. That was a really nice check, but sort of just sent everyone and the kitchen sink down secret. Got 2 players. Actually, Jerks is just holding for any rotations. You've got a player locking in lobby. And they're deploying more utility. They're trying to keep Nemiga towards this top side, or prevent the ramp rotations from going down. That's exactly what's happened as well. Look, it's a 3B bomb site. It's an open plant that can now be acquired for Saw. And this retake has to come in.
Yeah, this is pretty much perfect from Nemiga. No, sorry, from Saw. This round has been played out perfectly around them. Roman is still lurking, and you can see how aware Geo is that there's going to be someone... How does Roman get the frag every single time lurking? He is having such high impact. And yes, Belchinock gets 1, but there's just no time. And they're cutting their losses there. They're saving. They can maybe buy into this next round. It's going to be really ropey. But Roman, yet again, man, such high impact on those late rounds. And then everyone else as well. Just adding quite a lot to this. It all like that is literally this round literally was just Jerks getting a kill early at first, like early outside. just jumping around with a Tech 9. He gets Lear, and that's round over.
Well, it is, but also you've got that utility that I mentioned that was being put down. What they did is they threw smokes in towards A main and then flashes over the top. So it made in Nemiga's eyes that Saw were taking deep outside control, looking over in towards garage, and that's why no one actually rotated down towards that B bomb site, because Saw were faking the utility. It was really nice put together round, and that aids them to get 7.
Which, again, is really difficult sometimes to counteract, especially on Nuke with the lack of control, especially when like your outside players died instantly. You're like, what can we actually realistically do? Sometimes you need the AWP to be taking more space, and speaking about taking more space, he's going for these picks, but he hasn't necessarily been the most successful on the CT side. Someone I was hyping up, he's going 7 to 8 right now, and that makes me very scared, especially for this T half. What's he going to be like there if he hasn't been very good this half on the CT side?
And normally, as a reaction, when... Actually, we'll get back to this in a moment, because I want to look at Muteris, because right now he's flanking Heaven. And Gio's going to get boosted back up, but are they going to be watching this? No, it doesn't matter. He's in towards ramp. He's cleared out all of this space for Saw. The only player close to that B bomb site is Belchnok, who's in secret, and he's just walked up.
Well, this is a good round from Saw. They seem to just be finding... Like, even this round, they've just done so well, Saw, to pressure outside and just kind of keep Nemiga scared on A. And instead, they've just gone quiet. And especially because they've gone quiet, now this is the literal first noise they're making. And it's the smoke onto control when they're already on the bomb site. Because they went quiet, Nemiga are like, are they still coming A? And they went towards inner, they just went down ramp.
Belchnok is here, though. But it might not matter. There's so many players. Jerks even catches him off. That's huge. And Nemiga, are they going to go for this? Just from Lear retreating, it makes me think that they're not going to. And I guess they can't really. You take a look at the money. Yeah, they can't. They have to concede it. That's rough.
That is really rough.
But my point from earlier was, I was going to say, like, okay, typically when the Ts take outside control, common reaction on the CT side is to push lobby. But where, you've been saying this all throughout the game, where Roman has been getting these lurk kills so more often than not, it just puts doubt into the Nemiga's mind, and they can't often go and reassess and reaggress this lobby, because they then have to clear about 9 different angles. They don't feel comfortable doing it, reclaiming the space. And even if they lose a player towards Roman on that side of the map, it just creates more openings for Saw to try and exploit.
Yeah, I think Saw are just doing fantastic job at conditioning early doors, and you can see it, as you're saying, like, it's not even just that Roman, like, there's been, like, the outside conditioning, the inside conditioning, just keeping them stuck exactly where Saw want them, and they've done it perfectly. By doing as well, just like getting picks over the map as well, like getting like an outside kill here and there as well, just like minimizing defense, and like, or like Gio just taking loads of damage there by utility. Really nice. And look at this reaction play. They're finally actually going to use their utility, and they're going to use it. They're going to throw these flashes and actually going to go off on it. Idis balance. He's going to have 2 players in front of him. He hits the first shot. Can he hit the second? There's no trade. Jerks will finally achieve that. And then the flash comes in. The flash came in early. That would have been a free kill.
Look at this, though. Look at this lobby control. Roman's just shot, I think. Yeah. That's going to be putting Belchnok on alert. But Roman still finds it. There is a player on Silo, which does catch out Story.
But Saw, they've got the perfect... This is just perfect from them now, because they've got just 3 players walking in A, and there's just no one even like remotely close. That's just the round over. Saw are going to get 9 on the T side of Nuke. What?
They've played this T side very, very well. Roman has heard that drop as well. There's even a Molotov being thrown into guys that Roman isn't there. It will be cleared. There's still time to go for this, but Justice flanks Foster. Jerks has found Lear, and suddenly Gio No time, no health. He's still sticking around. Does take jerks. Okay. That's about it.
Nine to 5, superb from the Portuguese team right now. I'll be honest, Brandon, they have exceeded my expectations already quite a lot. Yes, they are playing Nemiga on a map. What a shot. Wow. Right. Well, like, they are playing Nemiga on a map where Nemiga notoriously just don't even play it. So I think that's one where it's like, okay, you got to look and kind of pinch your salt a little bit. But if Nemiga do lose here, I still believe they can be happy with what they've achieved, with how they've gone from closed qualifier to 3-0, and hopefully just contending a little bit further in playoffs. But right now, an A-Pop, Muterus as well in mini, looking to strike whenever he needs to. But the problem is they don't even need him. Everyone else is doing such good work. And Roman, he can lurk, he can entry. What else can't he do, Brandon?
Yeah, this feels a little bit difficult to try and recover for Nemiga. Belchanok can try and wrap main here and catch a good little bit of timing, but it looks like it's been accounted for. Story's holding for him. Does find that shot. I dispense all that remains. Shock echoes out from heaven, and Roman adjusts perfectly. Double digits on the T side of Nuke found by Saw. And that's 4 rounds at the beginning, 4 rounds at the end.
That's a pretty good half, everything considered. Yeah, I think Brandon, it's a decent half on the T side of Nuke. I think they can be happy with that one. Yeah, not bad. And you were talking about Story and his high levels of clutching potential. Hasn't been needed.
Oh, true.
So I made the point earlier, Brandon, about 6 when I was 6'4", I was like, 6 is more than enough. And now 10, that's way more than enough.
Nemiga think about doing something fast. Up and over. They're rapping. They're going to go... Oh, that grenade doesn't quite do as much damage, but Geo finds jerks. And Story as well. It's a similar pistol to what we saw. Oh, goodness me, the dual Berettas.
Oh my god, okay, if Roman was able to connect anything there, that probably would have been it, but the problem is the dual Berettas do all the heavy weight, they do all the heavy lifting, and Roman behind just couldn't really do anything. So Muterus in this 1 versus 3 on the B bomb site will just be saving. And Brandon, is this going to turn into a T-sided map where Nemiga do a T-side masterclass?
It's too early to tell, Freddie. Like, we don't know. That was a really nice pistol, though. It's just something different, right? It's just up and over the main, but rather than going main, you go literally into hell, and then you split ramp. We saw that on the rifles from Saw. I really like that reaction as well from the Nemiga. The fact that they get the kills in towards ramp entranceway. It means that they know that Saw have pushed lobby. So then they just retract and they go back towards A. Because they know they've dealt with those players. And more often than not, Muterus is going to be rotated down towards B. That's just a really nice reaction. They get the round on the board. They keep 3 players alive. It's 1 round back already.
Okay, 4 rounds in the difference. Saw, they're going to buy up straight away. They're going to continuously put the pressure on Nemiga and not give them any breathing room. It's going to be an interesting round. I think if Nemiga win this, they're kind of, they're on to 8th? Pretty much, because of the eco. And it does make it, like, a little bit contestable, even though they're still 2 rounds down on the T side of Nuke. It would all pretty much come down to this in the first gun round. I think it just will dictate a lot of will dictate a lot of how this game goes.
They get bodies down secret. Rotations are going to come in already. Jerks is here and Story. He's rotated over 2. So it is reinforced. It's just whether the Deagles have a good chance against the SMGs. And if you're Nemiga, you don't even have to commit to this. This is a 3rd player on B. They got a good read on this Saw.
Yeah, this is I mean, this is going to be a bloodbath. This will just come down to Brandon purely who hits their shots. And it's going to just be a flip of the coin, to be honest, I feel like. Nemiga, they have the upgraded weaponry. They will be favored in that aspect. And now this is when they're going to start making info. This is when they can hear them. Muterus will be first contact on Blue Box, and he will be the first to fall. Jerks, second to fall. Now Story, third to fall.
Roman now coming in with the SMG. Geo brought down low, doesn't matter, hits the headshot. Now just wants to hold on to his Kevlar and MP9. That was cool. What I liked about that from Nemiga is the fact that they didn't just go out through one avenue. They chose all three. They broke the windows, one player jumped out, opened double doors, a few players trickled out. And then decontamination, one player went through as well. So they attacked from all angles. Because initially it looked like they were just going to go through double doors. And that's a bit scary because Saw was set up to actually deal with that perfectly. But instead, they use every possible entrance. And the defense just completely unravels.
See, if we can have more of that, if we can have more of an Amiga, like, just good, then it's going to be a start into something greater. Making this map, if anything, contestable will be good going on to the second map. That's like, it's always like, worst comes to worst. If they do end up losing Nuke, where I still feel like, I want to see the first gun round before I can start making my mind up about maybe an Nemiga comeback. But if they do lose this map, at least make it contestable so you can go on to your map pick with at least something.
Yeah, this one is poised for an Amiga 8th. Jerk's just trying to be a bit crafty with the 5.7. Bit of a rude angle. Backing in behind the box. Just with the MP9 top hut. Trying to rain down some bullets. Oh, tries to be quiet. Makes noise.
Idus balance opens up the fragging department on Just. They do hear as well Roman. Because he was jumping around. So Geo, that's some entries he's been getting in 2 rounds in a row now. Starting to actually like putting pen to paper and doing well when it comes to just pure frags. Something that he wasn't quite achieving on that CT side. You will not have any armor saved over into this next round, and Saw not gonna have the greatest money, and that's a good anti-eco for Nemiga. Keeping it clean, keeping it maintained, and being disciplined in their approach.
Alright, Saw yet to find a round on the CT side. Would need to when the guns come out. You know, they had a game plan. Look, they were very poised on that T side, but Nemiga have come out just swinging, all guns blazing in this second half, which sets us up for a very exciting close to this first map. And Leah's just on a P250. I didn't even notice that until just now.
Oh, yeah. I was really confused why I was running around with his P250. Well. Either way, super nice from Nemiga, as I said. But this is the round I was saying. This is the round here where it's like, what's the crack going to be? If Nemiga win this, I believe. If Saw win this, I think that's probably going to be venturing into a GG.
Let's see it then.
I think the one good thing Nemiga have, though, that they've got a lot of money. 4 players on basically 6k. That's really going to help out, even if they do lose, to be fair.
Just has been able to sculpt the fire around him so he doesn't burn alive.
Well, that's actually, I've learned that a lot recently. There's only one Molotov thrown for top part that will hit both sides of the extremities. Then it has a gap in the middle, and sometimes it spreads to the middle, sometimes it doesn't. But a reaction always should be when the top part Molotov comes on, don't drop, just run to that side and hold this, basically, hold that angle. Tips from a top part player.
Saw's been learning. Smoke's now dropped for outside.
Diagonal
a
smokes.
wall has been made. Now Nemiga wants to cross. Spam. He's peppering them up just a little bit. That grenade's going to do good damage.
I thought Story was outside for a second. No, he's back ramp. But that Molotov being ticked, Muterus hears a lot of footsteps. I don't know how many he'd hear, but it's definitely at least comms of like, look, there's people down. It looks like it might be Roman. You have got Story here in support, but the one problem I'm seeing right now, Brandon, is look at these two B players. They're both completely isolated from each other. There's no trade. So if Roman gets one hit, yeah, there's 4 players in front of Roman, and he lines them up, but again, there's only one. You can only get one. And Story, they don't expect him. He actually gets the collateral. Wait, hold on a second. He gets the collat, and Jerks is here as well to get one as well. So Nemiga, 2 versus 5, 2 versus 4 rather. They've got Geo out A, but it's literally 3 seconds. That's round over. Damn.
Quite a simple hold in the end. That was just 2 choke points. Roman softens them up. Story knocks them down, even hits a collat on the way through. And you're right, there's just no time. But they can reinvest. Nemiga can bring out the guns again. I just balance on the AWP. Haven't really seen them go towards ramp at all, apart from that pistol.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. And right now, they're kind of doing a pistol-esque strat where they had 2 people on site. Okay, I thought they were going to do like something similar, but no. Low of utility early on. It just started to get a bit quiet. Geo spamming through, and I just balance. He actually gets the first pick outside. That Story out of the server right now. And Muterus has already dropped. Muterus is already down on B. So if, for instance, they hit ramp here, there's just Jerks. He's all by himself. They could just go 2 for 1 and it'd still be fine.
Just is looking to force the issue, potentially pushing towards Hut, but Geo's here. Geo's holding for this as well.
Wait, look at Muterus. He's gone all the way towards Secret. If he aggresses further, he could catch off Lear and then fall back. He's got a really strong position. I don't know if they anticipate this at all, but they molly him. Oh, that's unfortunate. He does smoke himself off, and he doesn't even extinguish the Molotov.
Double Hut push now.
This Hut push is it now. They need to kind of kill all of them, really. And then they need to have Muterus run up the vent, but instead it's going to be Jerks. 4 players in front of him, Brandon. Oh, they
fully blind by the teammate. Oh, Jerks lines them up.
God! What? That is outrageous. 4 kills in quick succession, and it basically starts because they team flashed each other. Nemiga, that is a blunder and a half. Saw they will take that with open arms. And Jerks, I was thinking in my head, I was like, if there was one player to do it, it would be him. 22-12. He's having a masterclass performance right now. And they boost Saw to 12, 2 in a row. And they pretty much destroy the economy of Nemiga. Jesus. That was genuinely such an outrageously good play. One of the newer players in this roster, coming from that For The Win roster. So good. That was mental. And that's like, he's literally saved his team. And well, let's see if Nemiga have anything to say about it, because they are on a full eco. Well, not full eco, they're on a full buy. This is everything. They put the kitchen sink in, everything. And they've taken outside control. Just standard smokes. And they have 2 players already down round. They have Story holding at the very back, and then Jerks is on that B bomb site. You do not want Jerks to be where you're going.
No, 3 down Secret already. It's a nice tidy angle as well. Just holds off the decon. We just hold the swings. He's heard that as well. Oh, this is where Belchnut got caught off guard before. So Jerks has to be careful. This time he's got support though. There is another player here to help him out. And Nemiga, yeah, they're going to reroute. They might even go up the vent.
like it's a very bold play to go up the vent, especially. But it might actually work because they're wrapping through mini as well. This is perfect. They've got three. The best.
Look at Lear.
Yeah, they've got 3 players basically.
Lear's in heaven.
Oh, Lear's in heaven. I was struggling to look. I was actually struggling to keep up on the minimap where everyone was there. But that's huge from Nemiga. That's ridiculous. The IGL yet again really having some excellent impact, and he will finally get neutralized. But I mean, at what cost?
What I liked there from the Nemiga was the fact that they played that so patiently. They waited for Lear to see how much room he could really get. Because worst case scenario, Lear falls in heaven there. And then they just go, okay, we're already down B. Let's just explode B. That was really well played.
Very impressive, and I feel like Brandon, especially because I was saying at the start of the round, they'd thrown everything in their kitchen sink at this round. So it was pretty much just do or die for them, and they've stepped up exactly when they need to. And for them to win that round and have a little bit of bank as well left over, as well, if they win this, they ruin the economy of Saw. This could be the round that Nemiga take with open arms forward and allow them to maybe even take Nuke off Saw. Be quite an upset, wouldn't it, if they won this series?
Yeah, definitely. But still, they haven't tied up the scoreline yet, though. There's still a number of rounds to go.
Yeah, it's still very much in favour of the Portuguese side, I'd say, right now.
However, that economy, it's on a knife's edge. Have to be a little bit careful if you are Saw. The more back and forth this game goes, the more it will favour Nemiga. The story, that's a good opener. On towards Lear. Belchanok has to clear decon, and he does spot out the player, but Muteris just runs away.
And then on the other side of it, it just seems like Nemiga are dying one by one outside. You can see where the players have died, Foster and Lear, literally just side by side to different players as well. It's looking ropey for Nemiga in this round because you've got 3 players all in just completely different places.
However, Belchanok's making a lot of noise in towards B. And in fact, he's going to come back around and try and find Muteris, but he loses out the gunfight. Geo is here. In fact, he's the last player remaining. I think he spotted the second player on the bomb site, but there is so many people here. Saw will get 13 with only 1 casualty as well.
That's the round that Saw needed. They didn't have the greatest of money going into that one, and they can come out of it still looking pretty comfortable. Have the AWP story where he actually found impact as well in that round, and Nemiga just looking around, and I think they're waiting for someone to be the hero of the show. Where for Saw, you have a player like Jerks who stepped up and is leading the charge. You don't quite have that for Nemiga. You've had the odd rounds for maybe some players here and there, but by and large, I feel like we need an Ida Spans, we need a Geo, we need a Belchanok to just come into Owen and just honestly have like a life round.
Four in lobby right now for Nemiga. Muteris has dealt with the outside presence, which makes it oh so more difficult, and is going to have to force Nemiga to play their hand early. They're going through squeaky here. If they can help it. Are they going to try and get down the vent, or are they just going to wait? Are they going to bide their time and hit A late? Because, look, Saw's got all this control outside. Muteris is just chilling the entire time. The minimap's deceiving. It's story over at ramp.
There's Muteris in mini, I think. Yeah, but it's going to be a pop They've got this advantage. They have 2 flashbangs. 1 of 2 gets pulled out. It does give them space to work with. The second one's really good to block them off. But the problem is they weren't able to actually get frags with the flashbangs. It gave them distance, but saw they all tucked and they didn't reveal themselves while they were blind. They peek out at the perfect time, and that's 14 for the Portuguese squad.
Yeah, it's really well played. And now look what it's done to that economy of Nemiga. It's not in a good way. So they're going to have to eco or partially invest, get a couple of pistols here or there. But this is easy street now for Saw. This is just the home run.
Ooh, blocky walkies. And they're going to be going to the meat grinder. Jerks, he's holding for them at ramp. He wants those frags. He's hungry.
They are pushing towards him. Or at least contemplating it.
Do it, do it. I want to see another highlight reel. Ooh, they're going back towards ramp. They are grouping up. The AK is hungry. And Jugs, he's going to feast on Nemiga. Lear just actually baiting out over outside, but it will be Jugs, I said. He's lining them up. The eco has come to me. He only gets 3 because Story seals the 4th, but saw a flawless round yet again.
And yeah, I mean, look, Nemiga, they can have the AKs, but they haven't really got too much utility behind it. They've got enough smokes to make an execute work. They can drop some outside smokes and put pressure out that way, but it feels like time is running out on the server for them, and they're just going to need to try and recover on Inferno.
Yeah. One of the better maps for Nemiga, it is their map pick, so we'll see maybe a bit more of an even playing ground. But for now, we still have to finish off Nuke. 6 rounds Saw have to close this one out, and I think they might just do it here in 1.
How are they going to do this? They're going to Molotov off some areas to go for a quicker top A play? Doesn't look like it, just based on the positions. They're just waiting for any aggression. Saw not offering anything up to them right now. Lear has made it down secret, though.
That's a good start. Because there isn't really anyone down B, but I don't think Nemiga are going towards that. There is another smoke being replenished towards door, and that's great for soldiers to keep on replenishing the contact. It's really hard as a T-side player if there's just continuous smokes time and time again on door. But right now, I'm interested in what they're doing, because there's 4 players in lobby towards Squeak, and then Lear's down B. Yeah, I'm not sure what the play is here. And, well, as they're holding, Roman just peeks into them. And, well, firstly, he's got that kill. And secondly, he's just using his utility to stop them off. Still top hut. And with their minor bits of utility, they're lurking out of A. And, well, Roman's just got one more. He spotted the bomb. Lear will finally die. And he was, I don't even know where he died from. But Nemiga, they're just going into the meat grinder. This round seemed like it had no sense of direction. It had no plan. And Saw will just take 16th. It got, at some stages, a little bit close, but towards the end, it was just actually very lackluster from the CIS side.
Yeah, look, Saw play very well. It's their map pick. They're very competent on it. And now for Nemiga, they need to regroup, reset, and bring their best foot forward as they head onto
10 players in a CSGO match.
Second map of this second series day in the CCT Northern Europe playoffs. My name is Freddie Ogami Rana. I'm joined by B-Dog or Brandon, and we now have Inferno. So the Portuguese invited team have already claimed map 1, their map pick of Nuke, and quite decisively towards the end. And now going into Inferno, it is the Nemiga CIS team's map pick. However, the one issue is that I'm looking at is that Saw equally, like both teams are very good on this map. And I think that makes it a little bit dangerous where we went on to Nuke and we were like, okay, Saw are undoubtedly the better team. Let's see how well Nemiga can do. And now I'm like, can Nemiga actually have any retaliation on Inferno? And they also are looking to make it a 5-in-a-row win streak. And well, they've had to a good start because Belchnok eliminates Jerks and well, just gonna execute on this B bomb site, Brandon.
Yeah, smoke's raining towards CT and Coffins. Roman having a little bit of a peek. He's taking to boost his friend up instead. Story and Just combined for kills on the way back in. So the man advantage is back in now with Saw. Just even going through the smoke, finding another. Ice balance with the trade, 2 versus 3.
Oh, I just balanced 1 versus 3 with the P250 spamming away. Cannot connect anything, and that's Saw somehow retrieving a round where they were at a very large deficit. And something I was thinking was, I was like, Nemiga are quite bad when it comes to pistol rounds on Inferno. Like, really, really bad. Like, they tend to win like 1 out of every 5, every 6. And I was thinking that, and I was like, they got the opening pick, and I was like, oh, that's good. And then they lost, and I was like, oh, that's not very good. But yeah, this is a not end of the world. And Nemiga, as I was saying, they're looking to make this 5 wins in a row on Inferno. Decent teams as well. They beat Sangal in a 5 overtime, which I casted. And then Copenhagen Flames as well. These are some serious teams, especially when I think the Copenhagen Flames game, like Regali literally went like, but he was just destroying all of them. They still did win. But now Nemiga on this low buy, just go into the meat grinder and just will kill them all.
Yeah, I mean, not really too many expectations for that round, especially when Nemiga doesn't invest in. You said about their win streak, Saw, they're on a win streak of their own. They're on a 3-map winning streak. And they also beat AGO on this map 16-3 most recently. They beat Heat in Road to Rio 16-9 on this map as well. So they played against some good people. I feel like they're a little bit inconsistent on it. The rounds which they win lean heavily on the CT side, so it's very important for Saw to fundamentally get off to a strong start here. That's exactly what they've done. They've won the pistol, converted against the eco, now need to try and follow up here against the guns.
And now they're looking to force their way on Hot Banana and Jerks close range with that MP9. Tried to get a little bit cheeky with it, but no, he will just fall to the hands of Geo, his first kill in the game. And they might even just pop straight onto this, and I think they will. They're going to be throwing the utility down, but the counter Molotovs are very strong. Another counter smoke is going to stop them.
Yeah, still doing well. Because that's pretty much all of Nemiga's utility. In actual fact, Justice is going to get boosted up, and then maybe there'll be a rotation away back towards A. That'd be the correct call. Because Nemiga, that's where they're setting their sights. They're regrouping, rerouting. And now this crossfire between Pit and Mini Pit has to hold strong. Otherwise, this will be Nemiga's round.
It's a strong crossfire, to be fair, and that nade just chips them down a little bit. But I like what Nemiga are doing, where they are splitting up. They're wrapping around the bomb site. Roman's gonna have to. They're both gonna have to go huge here, to be honest. Each in their own individual gunfights, and well, that's not a good start. No kills, but they've allowed for the CT side to get closer. Roman's had to reload his FAMAS, and it's just gonna get pincered, which will leave Story and Just to go and scarper back towards that B bomb site, save their 2 MP9s, and warrant Nemiga a first round on Inferno.
Yeah, quite simple stuff in the mid round there for Nemiga. Just put pressure over towards B. See what resistance you meet. Comes with a lot of utility being felt their way. So instead they just reroute. They regroup, and yeah, by wrapping A, it gives you a long-range gunfight on towards the players. Although it's still a headshot angle, it means the short players can just swing in and capitalize upon it fully. So it was a good round, a good way onto the bomb site, and they immediately respond, which is always a good sign for teams. Oh, Story will get an AK at the very least.
It's a good upgrade, because I was looking down, I was looking at the saved rifles, and it's like, okay, you got to also be a little bit scared of what the saved weapon is. Like, you are saving 2 MP9s, which isn't the most ideal thing, but like, it's grand. But now with that AK, it just makes it a little bit easier, and so they will be reinvesting completely into this. And this next gun round, it takes a lot, because Nemiga have an opportunity to reset Saw, and then same with the other side of it as well.
Yeah, quite an important one early on. Belchnok looking for a fight in towards middle. Not allowed the opportunity just yet. Mutiris is in towards Boiler. Story with the flash. Oh. Can't quite adjust. So Belchnok will find the opener onto Story.
That's a good opening for Belchnok. Someone who I felt like we could have seen a little bit more from on Nuke. I've seen him pop off a lot at many occasions on this map. And I want to see it happen again. Good, just presence being taken by Nemiga, forcing more and more utility out from Saw. But Saw have done really well to take control, but they are just going to fall back yet again, using so much utility and then just falling back. Smoke towards Archers. They're going to be wrapping around this A bomb site. Mutiris throws the Molotov, but it's just a little bit too late. The nade does a lot of damage onto Lear, and there's also damage inflicted from Roman onto the short players. He's been good for the first, dancing around the smoke. A nade's going to land on him that will eliminate him. 3 players, though. Look how close they are, Brannan. They're hesitating, though, because the smokes haven't faded. And Mutiris, if he'd won that gun battle, this round would have been it would have been completely different. But because Lear is still alive, he's just holding Jerks and Just and not allowing them out. Oh, he's done so well.
They almost single-handedly won Nemiga that round, and it was the case of Roman not getting enough on his purchase either. It was 1 kill, and he just got peppered down by utility. He was the only defender on that bomb site. Jerk's not allowed a safe respite. Try and save his rifle. Gets removed by Belchnok. There will be that eco coming out from the CT side, and Nemiga can try and force the issue, gain a little bit of leverage.
Nemiga, they tend to be good on both sides, and I think especially against Sangao, we saw them on their CT side. That's where they shone above. But it's an interesting one where they actually, even though they had, and I've seen them the one time where it really came down to it, they prefer the CT side, they normally statistically are better and find more rounds on their T side. And Inferno is one of those maps that we see being both kind of, it's like a 50-50 coin flip, but some people would see as more T side, and so do I. And right now, though, we can talk about that after the round, because this full eco stack has just awarded them 3 AKs. What?
And that bomb is left in T ramp, so even though Nemiga found this space, Geo now has to try and hold and lock them in. Good for the first. The issue you've got is there's no armor on these players. Geo saves the situation.
Oh,
It's all up to Story, 1 versus 2. But they're going to head up towards A, and he's ready for this. He could catch them off guard.
Story, this is his round to win. On a nice close angle, hits the first, drops the bomb in front of him against the IGL, but the aim punch goes against him. Non-armor. If he had armor, it might be a different story. Regardless of that fact, though, Nemiga, they only keep 1 player alive in this round. That is quite unfortunate when it comes to the economy. It does make it a lot more expensive, but Jerks has done so well with his USP. 2 clean headshots, and saw maybe a little bit disappointed almost there, because it was a 4 versus 2.
Yeah, Geo saves the situation. Make sure that they don't lose to full USPs. But the buy's back out for Saw. They're still walking wounded a little bit in terms of the economy front. Justice just on a fan mass. Big utility in towards Apps. And Mutrix even follows up with aggression. That wasn't the player even being brought down low by the utility. Foster, he's still only on 20 HP.
Nemiga have just slowed down a little bit. They haven't got any control, and they don't even have that much utility. They have no Molotovs, 1 nade, 3 flashes, 3 smokes. And luckily, they will actually be getting top banana completely for free. And Jerks and Just, as soon as they take contact, they'll drop the smoke. Oh, they slow a little bit slow. Actually, will be their downfall. If Just was a bit quicker with that, that would have been a completely different story. However, the amount of damage he's inflicted with both the spray and the Molotov does almost make up for it at all. A quick, nice little jiggle eliminates players even further. The bomb's down CT. I didn't even notice that as well. So they're just going to retrieve it now. And with 3 players on this bomb site practically, this is going to be so difficult for Nemiga, as Jerks is just continuing his reign of dominance on B. Get out of my bomb site, he says. This is ours.
Yeah, Jerks is unreal. Such a good player. And he just proves it there as well. Really nice placed incendiary. The fact it's in towards Paul, Nemiga just run straight into it. They're not ready for that. They thought it was maybe going to go up towards default, or typically when CTs throw that incendiary, it just goes just behind the smoke that they deploy. So they were trying to get ahead of it, but he throws it deeper, does so much damage. Then the 2 players that are left alive and brought down low just from the earlier skirmishes. And Saw, they buy back in, and it's a very good response.
Look at, yeah, it's just P250, 2 SMGs, 2 AKs. Not the most ideal situation. At least they do have utility, so that's one saving grace. It kind of comes down to what they use with it. That last round was looking so good until it didn't. Now, so playing quite passively towards B because they have top brackets. So they're not finding the need to fight early on. And I think they understand that the money is not too great either. And it's very interesting because they've got, because I think like on banana you need either long or top, you need either brackets or top banana. You need one of the 2. It's like a push and pull technique. If you lose one, you have to push the other one. And now because they've lost top brackets, I want to see what the reaction is over towards B. If they do anything, or if they actually just shift back into brackets. Because right now Saw have no info. And yeah, you can see there's a little bit of congestion there towards long. Both Muterus and Story just shifting in actually back towards brackets. They see the smoke coming Moto, but they're clearing it all out. They probably think it's a fake. Oh my god, this has worked out perfectly. They think it's a fake, so Muterus just walks back over. Little they know it's actually an apps pop, and that's the A bomb site completely open.
Yeah, out they go. Story could drop the bomb.
It's got around the corner though.
It's been thrown forward in towards short.
That worked. That round accidentally worked perfectly.
At least they hold on to 3 weapons. That's a saving grace for Saw. The fact that they can bring 3 AKs and an M4 in. They can buy behind this if they choose to. Muteris could even drop a player. Get an AK, get an M4 over. Tactical pause being called in just to discuss that situation. Yeah, it was a really nice play from the Nemiga. It was the fake pop in towards A. And there was just so much control. And the fact that they walked all the way back and then re-exec, that was so clever. Cook saw completely off guard. And you even got Foster accounting for the player on the balcony.
I mean, naturally, I think that's like the one thing they are accounting for. Like, you go for an apps pop, you're looking balcony. That's the one. Like, your mainly focus is that, especially if you force them off brackets. You know they probably could be still playing someone in that position. Nemiga, they continue and maintain a lead, and so that was a round where they win that. They're on to 4-3, so they'd be in the lead. The money for Nemiga would just be non-existent, and you're looking at like a 5-3 scoreline for Saw. But now on the other hand, if Nemiga win this, they'll be going like 6-3 pretty much instantaneously.
Aggressive banana take coming in from Saw.
Oh.
But a lot of utility, 1-for-1 trades, and Foster is getting a bit aggressive up top brackets, just continuing to force the issue here on Banana. Joe is still staying here though, staying strong in his beliefs that Banana should be his. Foster, if he goes around the corner here on Log, he has to contend with Muteris.
Yeah, but he's all by himself. Foster has 2 other friends with him, and it won't even be Foster actually gets the kill. It'll be Lear, the IGL, who has the bomb on his back. So it's a bit of info actually for Saw. So it will cause rotations from Just and Jerk straight away. But the problem is Roman, the only defender on this bomb site, instantly gets annihilated. And well, they know where Jerks is, and I just balance. Triples his scoreline in this round, and Nemiga 5-3, as I was saying. They're up against the Eco now, so 6-3 is pretty much guaranteed. And instantaneously, Nemiga are putting themselves in quite a nice position going into the later stages of this first half.
Yeah, it just feels like right now Saw can't handle the pressure that the Nemiga are putting over towards A. But before we go any further, thank you as always to our partner at the North Europe Playoffs, Bitskins. Make sure you check out the banners below. Belchanok going for a peek in towards middle. Not quite. That Molotov will land to force Just back. So early banana control has been established. 3 grenades being thrown in towards the sandbags. Just is still somehow fighting. And no casualties on either side of the server.
If Nemiga just pop onto this, they will win on the basis that they are up against, well, the only player who has armor is on 3 HP, so I feel like this is looking pretty good for them right now. However, there is a aggression from Story, as in like the fact that he's come back over towards this B-bomb site. They're cautious of a CT play. It's a little bit scary. And Nemiga, 5 players all grouped up towards Banana Brandon. The full execute is going to come in. They've only got 1 single flashbang though. So Saw, they could just all try and cascade onto this site, and like when the smokes go through that land, they could just go through the smokes.
Great nade though.
Oh, Ronan's been bonked.
Geo does find Jerks. Foster with the follow-up, even pre-fire the boost. So everything is taken into account. Everything has been cleared. That's back-to-back rounds, by the way, where Nemiga have executed B, and they've hard pre-fired the boost. So they're making sure that definitely doesn't happen to them. Mutirius will get Foster on the way out, but that rifle, I mean, good luck picking it up, mate.
Good effort, but a really just nice methodical round from Nemiga. A little bit better than what we saw on the last anti-eco, where they kept one player alive, and it was one of the scariest rounds I've seen this game so far. But that's good from the CIS squad. This is their map pick. This is do or die as well. This is their last hope in this series. If they lose this map, they're out of the tournament. And they've done so well to get this far. They've gone from the closed qualifier to playoffs, vanquishing some serious teams on the way, going 3-0. And now they don't want to stop here.
Early fight for Banana being taken just with spam. Oh, that's good damage on towards Geo. That follow-up nade could do it. Running through the fire, 50 HP. Belchanok does take the control out towards the car. So it is banana control established for Nemiga.
Good re-aggression, double flash. Just actually going to go during that first when it's fading off. And they're going to actually continuously throw down some utility, forcing them out, and a lot of damage. Smoke as well. They're going to have to go through it, but Belchanok just stabs him through it. Now only just jerks, and he still has maintained this control, which is actually really huge because it still allows Brandon for Story to stay on this A bomb site. And what that means is that when Nemiga are going to peek him on long, he still has that orb and is able to chop him down as they come into his crosshairs.
Well, they're going to go back to what's worked previously. They're going to go for this apps pop. That looks like that's where they're heading right now. Difficulty you've got is you've got Saw tucked in on a crossfire on this A bomb site. It will be that flash and a second one. But no one's there. This crossfire has to remain strong for Saw.
Oh, but Story being eliminated does just make it a little bit more awkward. And this crossfire, they know where it is now. And because of Mutirius getting tagged so low, it's kind of just evaporated in Nemiga. That's 7 rounds on their T side. I said they more favored this half, and it's starting to show with just how well they're playing it. And yes, they got a little bit lucky, I'd say, with that first frag. Belchanok does it, gets it just as the smoke blooms, but it's still a frag nonetheless. And Nemiga, they will take that with open arms. And that crossfire just wasn't enough. I don't think he even got a single kill. So with Nemiga leading by 4 rounds, they're up against the eco, the half by Saw. This is not looking great for them.
No, I just fancy if he was spotted out Story towards long. That might make him just not hold on to his smoke for as long as he would like to. But instead he's just jiggling. Gotta wait now. So bide their time. Use their utility effectively to delay Nemiga, but they might just run. They might just sprint straight in towards B.
Sometimes that's the best play to not even overcomplicate it, but drop a flash right in front of that smoke. And it's perfect. Idus balance, lovely little bit of support play there. Straight away, Nemiga, that's round 11 going in their favor. 8-3, perfect from all of them.
Yeah, best Saw can hope for right now is just to be offered a rifle. Story does get one. Can he follow up onto Geo?
Don't know if he can. He's in a very difficult position, and Geo will just be there to make sure the rifle doesn't get taken away. And Roman playing very well on Nuke. Scoreline, I don't think, really showed the amount of impact he was having. And right now, I haven't seen the same level of impact. Maybe it's because they need to get that T-side lurking underway, but an AK could be offered up here, and it does, and he will at least salvage something going into round number 12.
Don't matter too much on Nemiga's books, though. They've got so much money to play with. Such a round buffer, such an advantage. Story back out with the AWP. Idus balance is still wielding his from the previous. Haven't actually seen a head-to-head on Inferno yet between these two AWPers. However, on Nuke, rather, it was Idus balance actually coming out on top.
well, so they are back on these rifles. They're back on the big greens. Let's see what difference they can do on the CT side. And, well, they haven't done anything different, but Belchnok has just walked out middle. We've seen him find success over at B. And this time, Nemiga are just walking out middle. If they had more players there, that would have been very successful because they were able to isolate the 1v1s. Just that the problem was there was just more players for Saw there. So Nemiga, very confusing in this round. And I'm not sure why they individualistically just kind of went out one by one.
Look at this setup on Banana as well. This is so difficult to break.
They won't expect just.
No,
Maybe they will.
Do.
Oh, well, that's round over. Right. How? Like, I don't think there's anything Saw could have done there, Brandon. Just because Geo has just owned them all. Like, unlucky, I guess.
2 versus 2. Retake is still on. 1 smoke, 1 flash. Kit on Roman. But this elevated position from Geo could actually be everything here for Nemiga. Story would have to hit an absolute slammer. It looks like he might even extend over on the issue. Lear close. Dispatches. Roman finds the elevated position. Knows roughly where Lear is. But at the same time, that grenade will finish him off.
That is a perfect nade. It just lands on him. And Nemiga progress even further in the lead. 9-3. Perfection from this Belarusian CIS squad. So they haven't had an answer really at all recently. At the start, it seemed a little bit close. It was 3-3 at one stage. And they even had a chance against a low buy. But every time, Nemiga seemed to just progress further so successfully. 3 more rounds left in this half. And Nemiga, they won 12.
I mean, that round should never have been Nemiga's. That was a 4 versus 2 they just won. Idisbalance now peeking up towards middle view. Tiris will find Idisbalance and then even escapes Foster's graph. Story doesn't quite fire off the AWP shot. It's still the man advantage, but Nemiga want to head B.
So this is success they have in this round. Can they hold on to it? The problem is that if you look on the B bomb site, they've got a 5-7, an MP9, a Molotov, and a flash. Foster as well, not allowing Muterus to rotate over by eliminating that AWP. First, it's the biggest weapon that they own in this round. It's the most impactful. Just really stunted everything for Saw. I don't understand how he's been able to just walk out of Boiler and just get that kill. That's the Molotov I was talking about at B already being exposed, and that means that Nemiga have literally nothing to worry about when it comes to counter utility. And Geo, he will actually get spotted. Oh, jerks with a 5-7, close range, puts it into a 4 versus 2 in favor of Saw. But we've seen these positions before. But look, wait, look at Muterus and Roman. I don't think Belchnok understands he can be this close, but because he's low HP, he's not able to really finalize it. And Roman's stuck towards short. But the problem is, Nemiga are very split up right now. Belchnok does have full utility and an AWP. Saving grace for him. But Foster, he has to try and support Belchnok, and he can't. Bomb gets dropped on the bomb site. 10 seconds left, and Roman will get the last 2. Perfect from him. And Saw finally get around.
Yeah, Jerk's been a little bit quiet over the last couple of rounds, but then steps up in a big way. Good kills with that 5-7. Doubles up, makes that round doable, and it just throws Nemiga into a little bit of a spiral. This aggression, they just weren't expecting in all areas of the map, and it is 1 round back. 6 would be a luxury for Saw, but can they craft out a scenario, an opportunity where they can even get that to that stage? Because right now, the way that Nemiga have been playing, it feels very unlikely.
Yeah. And that's actually a good start. However, Roman's just died bottom mid. Don't know how that's happened.
I'm looking at Foster. I'm looking at how aggressive he is in towards apartments right now. He's got that control. One thing that consistently works for Nemiga is these apps pops. So they could go back into something like it. They don't have any top brackets control though. So that's exactly what he's trying to exploit potentially. But Idisbalance has a flashbang. They can go out here. smoke on towards Moto. I think that's what's going to happen.
Well, this is perfect. This is literally the best play they could possibly do. They're going to be crawling out of apartments. Just is also rotated off. This is amazing. Nemiga seems to just be doing everything perfectly right now. And Saw don't have an answer. They're even leaving A. Like, what? How has this worked out this well? User is going to be forced into iDispenser's crosshair. 3 versus 3. Bomb site stairs. And their closest player is bottom mid. Huh?
They're going to give this a go. Lots of utility on Story. The issue you have is he's the apartments player, so he can't really throw that properly. And he's also being held by Foster. This is very difficult to try and break. I think he's even spotted out the shadow.
Oh, that's huge as well. It's just actually a 1 versus 2. Foster gets Story before he dies. That's huge, Brandon. Bomber's planted for Ida's balance. He gets the first, but Just is right above him. He has a kit. And that is a great trade from the Portuguese man. Nemiga, even though they had the round perfectly in the palm of their hands, that site player, I can't remember who it was, but he just didn't get a kill. And that's the downfall of this round. Nemiga, they still lead by 4 rounds, and they want to be finding a 10th on this last round and a half. But look at their money. It's anything but great, to be honest. Oh, never mind. They actually do get a full buy. Never mind. I was being over anxious.
I'll tell you what, the fact that Saw recover that situation is crazy, especially because all the utility was just in apartments, but they make it work. Aggressive play in towards Banana for Just. Story now peeking with the AWP down middle. Could be offered up a number of kills here because Nemiga, they're going to walk straight into his crosshair.
Ooh, that's so huge from Lear, but the fact that Bucharest is able to get 2 somehow is ridiculous. And then Lear actually just takes the 1 versus 1 on Roman. But what is Jerks doing? How is this round unfolded in front of us? Roman with 5 HP. And he's just all by himself. This is such a strange round, Brandon.
Good decision to go through arches. Because now it's a 1 versus 1 on the bomb site. If he correctly predicts that iDispenser's in towards coffins and then wins out the gunfight on 5 HP, he could just stick the bomb. Not that he knows that, but that's the current scenario. Needs to be diligent in the angles, and he clears, and iDispenser just hits the headshot. Nemiga will take double digits forward onto their CT side.
That's a really good half from Nemiga. They've really, I think as well, you can see from the kill distribution, everyone has been lending a hand. That last round, really just strange overall. I don't quite know how any of it happened, but it feels like Nemiga, everyone's a threat, and that's the problem for Saw. They're struggling to deal with absolutely everyone.
Ball's now being called in for Nemiga. They just want to make sure that they convert the pistol. You said that on Inferno, the pistol rounds weren't too great. So they want to make sure that they leave nothing to chance. They can just keep their momentum going on their CT side.
Yeah, I think if Nemiga win this pistol round, it would really even show further their brilliance, because they lost pistol round and still got 5, and they still won the half 10-5. So imagine if they were able to win the pistol round. When I watched this team against Sangao, their CT side was way and above the stronger side. So especially now, I'm interested to see when we get on the guns how effective they will be. And well, Nemiga, they've got the right read so far. They've got 4 players towards Banana, or towards B, and Saw seems to be momentarily grouping up here.
Yeah, Lee can just take the first contact and fall off. This read, as you said, it's incredible. There's no way in for Saw here. I can't see a world in which they fight through, but they might. This flashbang could be everything they're about to go through.
And, well, that is incredible from Gio. Quick 2 kills. And, well, hold on a second, actually. It's all flipped back around. Lear through the smoke does drop the bomb. 2 versus 2. The kit is still in play. Mutorus is tagged down. Both these players, forced off, don't have any armor. It's the players that were throwing utility. So this could come into a real effect. Bomb being tapped. They're actually running away. Look at where Story is. He's all the way already top brackets. So Mutorus is going to go follow him. And Nemiga, there's no way they expect this.
Oh, this is crafty. And it's such advanced positioning him from Story as well, so he can even go into archers and maybe cut off this rotation. It's all going to come down to the timing of it. And in fact, Lear's in library.
Oh, Story has just owned this round, but they might not anticipate Lear to be hit. No one on the server right now has anything armor-wise. There's a single kit and it's in Lear. I think his best bet here is to see if he can isolate a frag in apartments, but he's made noise. He has to speed up now. They know where he is. It's just not enough time, I don't think so. Head down. He's done the same problem that he had on Nuke. He fumbles the bag with the defuse, but it doesn't really matter. Like, there wasn't much of a chance, and they will both probably dice the bomb.
Not quite. But still, a really good scenario for Saw. Considering they walked into that stack, they battled their way through it after losing the early man advantage, and then wrapping all the way back through towards A. What a pistol. And that's exactly the kind of, like, wacky, convoluted, complicated pistol to get you believing, to get you back in the saddle on Inferno. Because I'll tell you what, it's 10-5 right now. They win against this 4-spy. Suddenly it's 10-7. Then Nemiga, well, they've got an eco. Suddenly you're right back in the game.
Unless that happens. Unless Lear starts it off with a very nice 1-dig. And he's actually able to get a rifle off that as well. So that's already an improvement on this round. That's a Galil into his hands. He has taken a lot of damage, so you might actually just drop it over to someone else, which will be Geo. Lear now on an MP9. 4 players up brackets. Idis Balance. Oh, whiffing a shot. He had to hit that because look at the repercussions of it. Saw have all come through and just annihilated everyone.
Yeah, just when you think it gets a little bit scary, Saw lock it in, and these guys need to save. Hold on. Give yourself a fighting chance into the next. Galil and MP9. It's not the worst. It certainly could help you in round number 18. I feel like immediately we've seen Saw with conviction. We've seen Saw with a dominant game plan, especially into this round. And that's quite scary, because if they just route 1 this, if they just trade with numbers, I'm not really sure whether Nemiga are going to be able to hold on.
The thing is, as weird as it sounds, I would tend to agree, because normally, you know, Brandon, you see, like, okay, look, you have a team that's less experienced, they sometimes struggle to hold on in situations like this and close out the game. But I've seen Nemiga play 5 overtimes against a top 30 team and come out on top. So I feel like they do have the potential to go the limits.
Let's see, because they're still in the lead. They're still working with a partial purchase. It just gives more opportunity for Saw to close this gap. Molotovs being rained down in towards Banana. And this booster, we're about to see it again, I think. That cool one where it just looks like you're looking over the lamp.
This is a lovely boost. We saw it yesterday, I think. And oh, Jiro, that's perfect. He even gets away. Belchnok drops a smoke in front of him, so that's a good advantage. If they needed anything in this round, that was it.
Oh, even more spam. Uteris brought down low. They haven't really got too much control here. They can drop the smokes, and actually that's going to bring over the rotations. Look at Nemiga. Look at them go.
It's a gamble stack. They just gamble in it, aren't they, Brandon? It's not going to work.
They can't hear any of this. Idis Balance is the only player that can really do anything. Lear is hanging about. He's going to clear top brackets in a moment. But these mollies, he's got to call back to his team. Hey guys, look, they're actually on A. Idisbalance hasn't revealed himself yet, and Lear is somehow doing all of this damage.
Wait, Foster, wait, what? Wait, Foster spammed the smoke and gets a headshot on short as well. It should be a 3 versus 2, but no, it's a 1 versus 2 for Story. He's got everything to do now. Bomb will get planted, so at least give Saw something for next round. He's looking to do damage right now, and I think he can. Belchnok coming up on short will be the first to initiate contact, and he will find the headshot. Nemiga onto 11. That's a perfect round.
Yeah, they just walk straight into it. And the fact that Idisbalance gets 1 kill, it's good enough because, again, it's a case of all the crosshairs need to swing up towards Balcony and then swing back down. And that just further allows Nemiga to walk through the smoke, fire off pop shots through it. And it's to Saw's detriment. They can rebuy in. They've got just enough money to scrape together another purchase. It's actually just really imperative for Saw to win this round.
Yeah, this is pretty much starting to become a little bit do or die for Saw, and look, it's aggression from Nemiga. Whoa, Muterus spam. I think he hit the shot, which there's no smoke actually. Oh, the smoke hasn't even bloomed because there is none, so Muterus gets a first free kill pretty much for nothing. And Belchstock has been naded, just has been naded. A dance of utility on both sides, both connecting quite a lot. And Belchstock somehow, oh, he even just about runs out of bullets, even though he's using the Galil. But he's done enough, I think, there. 2 kills, and he's salvaged something for Nemiga.
He spotted the bomb there as well. So Lear's remaining over towards B. You still got this double app setup that hasn't moved a muscle until I comment on it. But they're still here on A, more importantly. They're going to sit into pit and mini pit. This is huge. This is a really good setup for Nemiga. Because Saw, they're going to do an apps pop.
We saw Nemiga, they did love their apps pops. But Idisbalance, he's holding this one with the AW. Ooh! Transitioning back and forth, and he'll get caught in said transition. And it's kind of down to Foster now. He does drop the bomb though. Idisbalance missing a lot of shots. Foster still connecting his spray though, and it will just be down to Jerks in a 1 versus 3. Nade lands on his head, 61 HP he's been dropped down to. Molotov on short will allow him to get the bomb and will allow him to get a free bomb plant, but the problem is Foster's reposition is unreal. Bomb will go down uncontested, but now he will not be able to live at all.
Yeah, really good stuff from Foster. Holding his nerve, gets a multi-kill, and then instantly just pivots in towards apartments, gives himself a different angle of approach. And it is a bomb plant, but it's still not enough money for Saw to really reinvest back in. So Nemiga put themselves in good stead in to pick up round 13.
This is looking like a third map, Brandon. I think might be really on the cards right now. Dust 2, we've seen it already be decided today, and it was a bit of a banger. Now, I feel like we're going to see another banger Dust 2 decider, because Nemiga... Oh, this is impressive. They're doing well right now. They don't realize Justice... Oh, lol. No way. I don't think he saw it. I think he did just genuinely spam that.
Great nade. Huge nade. That's just incredible damage. Even got control over Banana. Yeah, this is difficult for Saw. Unless they catch out this jump. Nope, not quite. Geo gets a lick, but that's about it. Now in towards top middle, Idisbalance finds further bodies to hit the floor.
Oh, wow.
That's a good shot from Story at the very least. That creates an avenue up towards long, but Idisbalance has rotated over, and he's found Jerks.
Misses that first shot, but he does land that second. Bomb is being dropped, and Foster puts an end to this madness. Nemiga, clean 13th. They save an AK or A1S M4 into this next round, and they're up against the rifles once again. This, for Saw, is it. They have to get this round the board. If not, then Nemiga, they're going to start, well, pretty much guaranteed 15, really, aren't they?
little bit of a pause. It's a technical one, not a tactical. It still gives a break in the action. Oh my goodness me. I didn't expect this to go this way. I'm going to be honest. I expected there to be more fight out of Saw. Especially on that CT side.
Yeah, I agree. I thought we were going to see a little bit more, especially considering this is one of better. You were talking about the AGO victory, 16-3 recently, and like I would have just assumed that on the basis of all of that, plus their win at the RMR against Heat, that like they have, and they're better on their CT side. They're much notoriously stronger on it. So now they're on their T side, and they're just inevitably kind of going bad.
With Dust 2 potentially waiting in the wings here, do you think that favours a specific team? Or do you reckon it's just going to be an all-out fight?
I think I'd be more inclined, to be honest, to go in the avenue there's going to be an all-out fight. But the one thing I will say is that I think we go into the same mannerisms that we had on Nuke with Nemiga, where it's like it's actually a map they're just not good at. Like, at all. And that's the one caveat which I'm scared about for Nemiga, where they make it this far. They need, obviously, like, they win this map, they're going to have that, they're going to mentally have that boost. But then we go to Inferno, or we go to Dust 2, and it would be their first win on Dust 2 in, like, the past 4 months.
It's going to be an interesting one. I feel like, even look at the kill distribution just on the server in general. Like, no one's really having an off day. Everyone is here ready to perform. I feel like Jerks had a really good start to CT life on Inferno, and then he just kind of fell off a cliff a little bit. At one stage, I think he was going like 12 for 4.
Yeah, he was, and he had that like on the B bomb site really early on. He was just getting multi-frag after multi-frag after multi-frag. And he was continuing success he had over on yeah, it's like because on Nuke he was popping off. He was having such a good time on Nuke, and he kind of carried that over, and then a struggle to continue that. So with Nemiga, if they carry over in the same manner, how well they're all doing, because again, the kill distribution is so close. If they're able to carry that over then onto Dust 2, that could be very unfortunate for Saw.
Most trusted, lowest fees. We're P2P live now. Make sure you go and check out Bitskin's partners at North Europe Playoffs with the banners down below. Lear getting aggressive in towards middle. So we've not yet seen from Nemiga, and that flashbang is perfect. Materia is completely caught off guard, and these smokes, I thought they were going to lock Story out of the fight, but no, he just runs through and takes care of business. 4 versus 4, and just, he actually got quite good control towards top banana.
Yeah, he does, but look at these rotations. Idus Balance connects an AWP shot, and also Belchnok walking to this. He's actually walking through long. He's walked above, in front of this smoke, and there's no way that Story expects that. He doesn't. 4 versus 2 for Nemiga. This gun round has just crippled Saw quite drastically, and Gio even dodges that flashbang, so it's a 1 versus 4 now. Roman left alone. We were praising his lurking abilities on Nuke, and now he's going to have to clutch up for Saw if we want to see them with any success, really, on this T side.
Look at the rotations as well. Belchanok gets removed. Idus Balance misses another shot. Okay. Got to be careful. Already brought down low is Roman. You can't go through that. I was thinking about it, though. 1 versus 3. 2 players on the B bomb site. You've still got Foster patrolling A, making sure that top mid is locked off. There's no utility, no time. He's just going to walk straight into the firing line. Nemiga will take 14 rounds.
That is very impressive, and I thought this would be a little bit closer, but nah, it's like Nemiga have just popped off, to be honest, really. 2 rounds away now, taking us to map 3, and these first 2 series have been bangers. Hopefully the rest of the day will become even better, because right now it's just been so electrifying. And as well, like, you continuously in Nemiga, everyone's stepping up when needed. And that's really important, especially if Idis Balance can get some confidence going on to Dust 2. On that CT side, he can just make it his playground and do what Anika's was basically doing, we saw in that first series. But Idis Balance, again, the first pick, really nice. The confidence is brewing. And this top brackets pop story, he's had the flash, he's popping it through, and they're not blind. This 4-man stack towards the A bomb side's coming at a perfect time. They don't even lose a single point of HP. Flawless round for Nemiga, and they'll flawlessly be looking to take us to Dust 2.
Yeah, I've done it with quite a blom as well. That was a perfect setup. The fact that Idis Balance just hit shots like that is nutty. He's a player that you were talking about, but we haven't really sung his praises too much in this series. But 3 kills there. It is against the Eco, but they're still quick to the draw. And now it's the AKs in play for Saw. And Idis Balance. Oh, that's a rare whiff. Gonna fall back. Try and bait Belchanok in. There are 3 players here, and Justice just on the cusp of the smoke. Just trying to creep ever so closer. Is Belchanok aware? Yes. Just removed.
Okay, Nemiga looking to end this off. A wrap smoke being dropped on Geo. He's in the perfect position, Brandon, right now to counteract this. They'll walk into him, and it'll just be an absolute... yeah, he's going to absolutely just destroy them if they walk into him yet again. First contact will be Idis Balance over towards Banana, and now saw 3 players. I said they're going into Geo. The first contact will be lined up, but no, they double peek him, and he barely does any damage. It's all down to Lear and Foster, Mini Pit and Pit, and that's the first pick going their way. They need to just hold off and wait for the rotations, and they're going to do one better. Lear's going to do one better. He chops them all down, 19 to 12. He secures the Nemiga match point, and he secures them salvation once further in this CCT series playoffs number 1.
Yeah, these advanced positions from the Nemiga were just everything. Saw just couldn't really get a look in. It's Nemiga's map pick, and they showed us why. 16 to 7. It's a dominant scoreline against the Portuguese, and now we need that decider map. It will be Dust 2. Which way is this pendulum going to swing? Which team will continue their journey here at the playoffs? We're going to find out in just a few minutes.
Predict kill.
Everyone, and there's no time to waste. It's Nemiga versus Saw. Loser will no longer continue their journey here at the North Europe playoffs. And I was having a little look in the break at Nemiga's stats on Dust 2, and it does
It's
actually
not
paint a
great.
pretty picture.
I think like it paints a really bad picture if anything. Actually, like it's really not filling me with much confidence at all. But I feel like after their success in that second map, maybe using that energy over, and they can bring it forward now. Firstly, have stacked completely towards the latter side of the map, and this is the problem because they're over at B and so are over at A. This is a very strange pistol round. Saw have a completely free A bomb site, free long. Free approach everything, and Nemiga a 5-man retake from shore.
That must have been a read.
That must have been a read, yeah, a counter, something you watching the demos. But that smoke as well, being saved and then dropped at the perfect time, completely neutralizes 4 players. There is a kit on Lear, but the problem is the kills are not going in their favor. Saw are chopping them down one by one. Belchnox on 17 HP. Lear has done really well to get 2 here, but it just might not be enough because, well, everyone else is dying around him. And they actually get all the kills, but the problem is they couldn't get the kit close enough to the bomb site, so close enough for Nemiga, but not good enough.
Yeah, pretty easy start for Saw. They just walk onto A, find it's free, plant the bomb down, and win the round. Quite straightforward, all things considered. Now the decision for Nemiga is, are they going to invest in, or are they just going to eco? And more often than not, they do force. That's exactly what we're going to see here. Belchnock immediately gets a FAMAS. And there's a scout on the other end of things for Saw, stories on it. And there is actually 2 that have been brought out.
Yeah, I mean, we see this quite a lot in the meta of Dust 2, having the double scout. You can get so much damage, chip damage more than anything. And then able to finish them off with the pistols. But the problem is here, Idaspan's has gone for an aggressive peek. He's been scouted himself. And then Mutaris has just spammed him with the Galil. Perfect read there. Geo didn't have a hope in hell. Gets spammed, Molotovs, everything. And that Galil has already been put to good use.
Put presence over towards middle, and then they've tried to get the rotations over that way whilst they try to exploit long. It has worked to a certain extent because Lear's now in CT spawn holding the cross. Belchnock's going searching out short. There is a player in just tucked in top mid. He actually has spotted out Belchnock. That's him removed. And now it's a 2 versus 5, making that a 1 versus 5 because Foster's lost his life in the mid doors.
Okay, a pretty flawless round by Saw. It just methodical, and it all worked out well. They got those first 2 opening picks quite quickly on into the round, and they were able just, well, yeah, literally within like 20 seconds, they had a 2-man advantage, and they just utilized it perfectly. Lovely little one-tap by Jertz there at the end as well. And Saw looking to go 3-0 now and have it as clean as the last round. And I think they'll probably be quite easily doing that.
You'd hope so. I've seen
you'd hope
crazier
so.
things happen in the CCT.
I've seen bonkers stuff happen in the CCT.
Again, it's a bit more of a default. Middle has been reclaimed. Flash through this time for Mutiris. Just to poke and prod, get a little bit of information. Then we can piece this one together and tell his team exactly where he'd like them to go.
Well, Saw that electing to take the long-range battles, which I like as well here, with the AKs and the scouts and the Galils, is like you may as well use the range to your advantage. And Nemiga, they really just have no one as well near here. They've got everyone in around mid and B. So Saw, pretty again, easy round. They've somehow guessed perfectly every single stack that Nemiga have done so far. If that can continue in the same manner, it'll look pretty good for them.
I like the Mutiris just didn't quite overextend there as well. He's now just backed around the corner. Hold in, but the spray's not that great. But that's okay, because Story's here with a Glock. Quite a prolific weapon. Bomb now to be planted on the site. And actually, Nemiga, they're going to reconvene. They're going to group over towards short, and they're going to give this one a look in.
Especially considering that the bomb's just gone down there. You have a Galil in the hands of Foster, which potentially could go to someone with... Oh, no, because he's holding long. And then you've actually... I mean, they don't know this, but Nemiga only have 3 players to be attacking on that bomb site, as you do have Story, as we were saying, with the prolific Glock towards long. And he's going to start inkling his way out. But Nemiga, they were just holding for some aggression, and they're actually going to do some aggression themselves. Lear with his P250 just running through the Molotov and even gets Roman somehow. I have no idea how that's happened, but to be fair, not a bad outcome, all things considered, for Nemiga here. I mean, similar for Sword. Like, neither team is really going away with anything that negative from that round, apart from the fact that Nemiga didn't get the round.
It all comes down to this, though. It all comes down to the gun round. For Saw, if they win this, they can keep the momentum building. For Nemiga, it's essential just to kind of balance the tides, feel a little bit more settled, especially in a map you don't have the best track record on. Really essential just to kind of warm up into it early, because otherwise those doubts will start to creep in. I just balance fully blind on that long peak, so can't capitalize on Mutiris, but Belchnok's trying to step in towards top middle. He's trying to creep his way around this corner.
Oh my God.
Roman completely removes him.
What a shot by Belchnok, and that's exactly what Saw needed early on in this first gun round. A quick, easy advantage. So much space is being able to be opened up there, and they're actually going to completely reconvene over towards this B bomb site. Foster is close here, all by himself though, so he can, you know, even if he gets 2, it still is fine. And Saw, they need to trade out or even just get good entries.
Just as well in towards middle, can lock off rotations. Just going to get himself into a position that he can establish some sort of control, even dropping a hinge smoke and a flash. Molotov perfect, going to force them back, and now it is all on Foster's shoulders, and he can't even get one. That's the worst case scenario. And if you're Nemiga, you just save. You're too far removed from the fight.
At least you are saving your weapons though. That's the plus 5 for Nemiga, because they can theoretically just go again next round. Because Foster had that saved Galil, he'll have enough money to buy for himself, and then one of these other 3 players will be able to drop Belchnok. And it's just basically for Nemiga here, trying to reevaluate what just happened in that round, because theoretically that was really bad at the beginning. Like, you have just sent your star fragger by himself towards middle and baited him to die. So I think there can be improvements there. But for now, Saw trying to hunt down Nemiga. And Gio and Lear are very close to this long door, but they actually won't really commit to it, Saw. And Story will, yes, Story actually just drops his scout and buys a knock up. I think he realizes enough is enough.
Yeah, good round for Saw again. Punishing aggression. Nemiga tried to catch them off guard. It's completely hindered at the first hurdle. And then they just group as a unit and attack. And that's what we were saying on Inferno. That's what we expected more from Saw. But it appears to be Dust 2 is where they've earned their stripes. They're currently 4-0. It looks pretty good right now. Flash them back. However, it is Nemiga with this long control, but just could be flashed through this position here. Idisbalance has got to be careful.
Yeah, he does have support, though, from Belchnock that will favor them if it comes into effect. Oh my god, the timing. Nemiga, they see that hinge smoke, and it completely bamboozles them. No shot. Idisbalance and Belchnock both just leave, and Belchnock just, with his knife out, drops and walks into the open. Like, how has that happened? And now, if they wrap B, Foster's the only player here to hold. He's got the org in his hand, jiggling around, isn't seeing anyone. They get close, and he will only be good for that first. He does improve from his success last round, but it doesn't matter because the round's still lost, and Nemiga, the exact same 3 players, will be saving.
Yeah, not an ideal scenario, is it? That's really well worked from Saw. This mid control, especially in towards the mid doors, is so essential because you can just play with these rotations time and time again. And the fact that it's another scenario where it's just 2 kills and that's a round win, that's huge. Look at this flawless start. This is something we've yet to see in this series. A very strong start and then a gun round conversion and then a follow-up. This is going to be 5-0 without an early response from Nemiga.
Getting momentum, Brandon, on Dust 2 T-Site can be something that's very notoriously hard. The pistol round win did help, but these just continuous destroy, like, the rounds are just not even close. But Nemiga then are saving, so it feels close still, because every single round you have these gun rounds. And they're actually saving a lot of money kind of by doing that. So you see Idisbalance has like 5 grand in the bank account, so he can buy an AWP next round regardless. But Saw, let's see if there's going to be a change up, and let's see if Nemiga can break through.
For a second, it looked to be like a different story with a peek in towards long, but gets forced back by the flames. So instead, Saw again, they group, take space over towards tunnels. This is the default that you commonly see. Here comes the hinge smoke again. Does actually miss this time. Doesn't quite line up with the pixels. Beatrius will take control in towards lower, and this time, look at it. Hostile, they've got reinforcements. Gio has made his way over, and Idisbalance can see over this smoke.
Ooh, this is really strong. This is the problem with the hinge smoke missing, is that Idisbalance then has a lot of space to work with, and he's actually just got a lot of info as well by doing that, and he's just pushed through this first smoke as well. But Story, what an angle, what a peak, what a first frag, and Nemiga already at a deficit. Minute left on the clock, and Saw 5 players at shore are just going to be taking the fight to Belchnock. The Molotov, it splits the team up in half. 2 players are in front of it, and those 2 will be bombarded by a grenade, and Jerks will drop the bomb. Roman, close on that bomb site, will catch Belchnock off guard. Lear still holding towards long, and Gio in CT is on a fast rotation, but this is a round where Nemiga be very difficult for them to lose. But Gio's got a round. Oh, Gio had a timing. They check CT, don't see him, and Gio almost finds what he needs. Lear in the same regard, almost gets a double frag, but just so close. Nemiga, if they maybe had that advantage of another player still there in the form of like Idisbalance, then it'd be a different story. But no, they so narrowly lose out.
But that's why Saw's conditioning in towards middle, and then we take B. In towards middle, and then we split B. This round, in towards middle, Gio rotates over, we go up short. The extra player is not there on the A bomb site. And now Jerks has been able to just get out through the incendiary.
A lot of space for free.
All this long control's now been gathered.
Yeah, long control taken at not too much of an expense as well. You can see they still... they've used 2 smokes early, so I guess sometimes it's not the most ideal taking long control, because you've got this control, but then you look at the problem with Nemiga have trapped you in towards long, and you can't fake it out. You have to either commit or like dry contact somewhere else. And well, it looks like they will be committing. There's 3 players on this bomb site. You've got Geo controlling the whole of middle. You've got Foster controlling the whole of B, and Jug has still somehow traded it out and eliminated the AWPer. How has he been allowed to do that? He's been gifted to him, and then Foster has look what he's done towards B. He's potentially overextended and thrown the round away for Nemiga.
Look at this as well. Look at the reaction from Nemiga. Geo's trying to step in, but Belchanok has crept all the way back down short, and now he's clearing out middle, which just leaves Lear all alone on this bomb site. And with 35 seconds left, Saw they can just commit in. But how long will they leave it? How long will they wait? Because the further the timer expires, it's just, look what it's allowed. Nemiga, they're all here.
Yeah, this is such little time. Belchanok swings out through the Molotovs, but he isn't able to get anything. 15 seconds. 1 player now remaining. It is Lear. 10 seconds. He has to just stay alive pretty much more than anything. The bomb is going to get planted, and there's nothing he can do to deny it. He can't even survive, and Saw 7-0. Success from them is just brewing continuously.
What a round by Just. Just the fact that he holds all the way back to kill the B player, the B push, and then late round he goes in towards short and just picks up the pieces at the end. It's another backstab. Saw 7-0. Tactical pause being called in. Nemiga, they've got no money to really invest back in.
Okay, so I anticipated maybe Saw would be the favorites in this matchup on Dust 2, and I think we discussed that a little bit on Inferno, and then also coming into this, that, okay, Saw, they probably are looking better on this, but 7-0? I didn't expect 7-0.
Especially not T-side Dust 2.
Yeah, like, maybe if they started CT side, I'd be like, okay, we can give him, I guess, a benefit of a doubt, but then... this?
This is the weakest buy we've seen from Nemiga in a while. Just a scout, 1 M4 on Lear, and there's really just no utility to try and fight Saw back with, so it's going to have to be the weapons. They have to be the secret piece of the puzzle that Nemiga really need. How the Jerks. He's already found eye disbalance. Doesn't quite get Belchanok, and Lear steps in with the rifle. Okay, that's not too bad at all. And now Geo's even holding for Muteris. It's a difficult shot to hit, and he will actually be allowed it.
It's because Muteris had a headshot angle with the AK versus a Deagle, and then chooses to face with a non-headshot angle. But Just is really low. So if Geo can get closer, just 1 bullet with the Deagle will do it. The problem is Just is just going a little bit too fast and will be evading the Estonian player. But this is still a winnable round. Again, low HP. He just needs to connect 1 Deagle shot with the right IP. That's what it'll do. He even connects the headshot. AK in hand now. He won't see the player cross towards the site, but he will now. Story, smoke towards short. Peeks out, and with the AK just taps away. Again, Geo was very, very low, so I feel like it'd be hard to really actually win that out. But 8-0 still. Saw looking tasty.
You know what's crazy is how close that round gets, and that's probably been the closest it's been for Nemiga to win a round.
I'd say, yeah, it's probably the closest full stop.
And that's just been with Deagles.
Well, because it was like they just played together, played the trades, and yeah, that was the round. But, and a big shout out to our partners over at BitSkins, the partners for the CCT tour. Click on the banner down below and make sure to go check them out.
It's going to be B. This could be a quick B execute. Change of pace, not something we've seen. Foster gets jerked through the smoke. Now the rotations are coming over, but just needs to try and deal the damage. Belchenok through the smoke will actually deal with them. And he's the player that's last rotated over. This is not what Sora was expecting.
The trade spaces were all off. You could see Foster, before the execute even came in, he was spamming through that smoke. He isolates the first kill. The trade spaces go all awry. And so I think this is the first time we've seen them on a 3 versus 5 deficit. A minute down the clock, they do have time to play with. That's the one positive factor about this. But I think that might be the only positive factor.
Well, it looks like you got Roman wrapping back in towards spawn. Difficulty with this is that Lear's already pushed long. So information's been gathered there for Nemiga. Even if they come out towards middle, Belchenok's holding that and locking that one in. So where can they go, really? It's very difficult to try and piece this one together if you're Saw.
I think they've got a right idea of just try maybe group up as a majority and go somewhere. And mid to B seems like the most, I guess, possible. But it's just really not gone well. Like, at all. They got 1 kill, and that'll be about it. That's a first, Brandon. Nemiga got around.
Yeah, but it needs to be consistent, doesn't it? That's the issue you've got. But that was a really nice response, and I feel like Saw, that's the first time we've ever really seen aggression. And I feel that's the last time we're going to see aggression on this T side.
They're just like, slow. It's been a very, very, very slow T side. And a big part of that has been the fact that Nemiga has saved a lot. It's felt like a very slow game because Nemiga have been saving a lot. Saw have been playing very slow rounds on top of that. So it's been very drawn out rounds. And I think we might be going back to something like that because the fast play just didn't really go at all successful. And yeah, she's like, they tried it, doesn't work, we go again.
Justice now laying down this same utility, trying to fake out that they're going to try it again. Molotov's getting control over towards short. Belchenok in towards CT. It's his responsibility to lock this one in. There are 2 players holding long right now for Nemiga at the very least. The difficulty for them is they don't know whether Saw are going to commit to short, or whether they're just going to go back into mid to B. Feels like the latter right now based on the movements.
Yeah, I think especially with just still outside of B, and then with the mid to B smoke being dropped down, I think that's a pretty big giveaway, as well as 4 players have 40 seconds left, all towards the area. A lovely nade from Geo. Bonk's story down specifically to around 50 HP, but it's just spamming through a smoke, putting pressure on, and keeping the foot on the pedal. But oh my god, Geo's turned on a sixpence with an A1S, 3 quick kills as well. Belchenok coming through that smoke, getting 2 from behind, and that's a really nice round from Nemiga. They wait maybe a little bit too long that time. They can't find the frags, and it will just be Geo and Belchenok to do a mad one.
Yeah, what a hold.
Yeah,
Tactical
really.
pause immediately being called by Saw. Just remember, this was an 8-0 start, and now with 2 rounds in a row for Nemiga, they don't want to let this slip. Given how dominant it was, I mean, like, I feel like anything less than 11 would even be like a failure for Saw, considering how that went.
Yeah, because it's a weird one, Brandon. When you like, do you know when you see it and you see like 9-6 half on T side, and you're like, oh, it's great on the face of it, but then mentally Saw got 1 round out of 7. So it's like a weird, like, okay, you got the rounds, but have you got the momentum?
Well, they've taken a moment to think about it. Story's definitely seen that player.
Yeah, that's info.
Belchenok
like,
actually doesn't want anything to do with it.
Belchenok just run across screen like, hello there. But I think, yeah, especially with...
this is bold.
This is very bold, because he has been completely fully blinded there as well. And yeah, that's the second time he's given outrageous aggression, and it hasn't gone his way. I love how I just balanced with 10 rounds played is 2 and 4. as the CT side AWPer on Just 2 is 2 and 4 after 10 rounds.
It's a good
That's
nade. Spam's follow-up doesn't quite do the damage, but long control has actually been established for Saw whilst all this commotion has been going on in the mid doors. And with Just walking, just keeping presence in towards B, it's still more information. And with 50 seconds left, Saw, they don't really need to commit to anywhere just yet. And if just walks out tunnels here, he's going to drag all these rotations over.
As well, one thing you got to look at, Nemiga, they don't have any utility to deny anything. They've got 2 smokes and 3 flashbangs. However, they will just stand for a smoke. Okay, yeah, well, who needs utility when you've got M4s, I guess, guys? But then look at Just. They need to hold strong. They need to just survive, pretty much. And they've done well at getting that first short player, because now Just can come into play. He's actually been spotted in middle. Wait, hello?
No, he hasn't.
Wait, but he literally threw a Molotov.
What?
Wait, what? How did... Hello?
Look at Foster. Look at Foster at long.
Foster's got the first kill long as well. They have 10 seconds. Brand, there's no time left. The bomb is in CT.
This round
was too long. Wait. What? No, he wins. Foster peeks him. He wins. I ruled that round out. I was like, that round's done. Militaris in a 1 versus 2 with 8 seconds left. Finds the AWPer and transitions onto the low player. Foster peeks. Foster trolls. Foster throws it to them. What's he doing? There was 2 seconds left in the round, Brandon.
That round was all kinds of wild.
What is happening? Thought I was watching UKCS for a second there. Right.
Wasn't that bad.
Ouch.
Could be a battle here. 3 players taking on a fight in towards B tunnels. They've actually just deep smoked them off. Nemiga's now got all this control. Story's been brought down low, but it doesn't matter too much. As he is the AWP player, iDisbalance catches a glimpse of one of them, and Lear is now going to push the issue, now going to get up close towards these doors.
Flash goes through, completely blinds Jerks. And that's a really nice, even retaliation. Look at Belchenok. They might not expect him here. His aggression might finally provide success, and it will for now. And he'll even get 2. Lovely jubbly there. And I think he might just win the round off it. Ooh, however... Okay, so it's a 2 versus 3 for Saw. Story is on 4 HP. That's the one thing to look at right now. However, I was going to say, if Just was able to get the kill on Gio there, I'd say it'd be possible. But the problem is, he doesn't. So, it's not.
$30 seconds. Gonna just save it.
Yeah.
But that was a
9-3.
nice round by Nemiga. The fact that they're proactive and they take upper tunnels control with 3 just really just prevents Saw from firstly having that control, and then just allows them to get into more aggressive positions. So when they recontest middle, Belchenok's there, for example, to get a multi.
That's huge from Belchenok. Clean as well. Like, he's starting to kind of feel himself now a little bit. So if Nemiga can push that further, and Gio as well hasn't even had that bad of a game. So if these two can be the ones that lead the team forward valiantly, they could still claim a few more rounds on this first half. But the AWP is out still for Story. He'd save it over. Around him, he'll have a Deagle, 2 Deagles, Tech 9, and a Galil. Not the most advantageous weaponry, but they can make it work.
Yeah, a bit of a rough buy. Belchenok's now just holding this angle. But it's going to be iDisbalance to face the contacts, because it's going to be a short execute. Or at least that's what you think. But instead, they fall all the way back. They're trying to sound this one out. The issue you've got for Saw is that they've got 1 smoke to really make all of their execute dreams come into action. And with Belchenok actually only going 1 for 1, that's quite impactful.
Yeah, and the smoke's actually going to be dropped right there. It's a mid to B smoke. The problem is Nemiga still have 2 players towards this B bomb site. They've taken away the lurk, and that is Belchuk. They know that Belchuk isn't one of the B players. They still are expecting 2 to be here, if they even went there. Story is lurking with this orb. I'm not sure if he's scoped in before or after, if he's even scoped in right now, but he's going to be walking into Forster, and that's a frag going away from them. That's the AWP as well. That's the main hitting weapon. Idus Balance, okay, buddy, they weren't that far away. Goes for a ridiculous flick, and sometimes the easiest shots are the ones that you miss. Draken, 30-degree window, really coming into play right there. And they're trying to take the fight to Lear at long range, but Lear will win it out. Foster, Geo from CT, and it's all down to Just and Roman. Roman tagged down to 9 HP as well, does salvage the weapon, but at what cost? And that cost is death.
Good Mollage, going to force him back. They've all got kits. It's going to be a 4th round on the board for Nemiga. Nicely recovered, but just clever. Grabs the AWP.
That's actually clutch, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, I think there it was. I was watching and I was like, it probably, it would be better if Nemiga just had, or no, if Saw with Story just creeped up towards daylight. The AWP going there made no difference. But I could see what they were trying to do.
Yeah. That was the only question mark. Story has found Idus Balance again. But Foster has found 2 kills in towards B. That's massive. That just halts any progress that Saw wanted to make on that extremity of the map. And I really like this reposition. Foster just vacates B immediately to help out with middle because he's killed 2 players there. And then he steps back in just as somehow crossed over without making any noise. So now he can bring the bomb up.
What smoke was that lining up for?
I don't know.
I don't know. He just walked into the wall with the smoke. But no, he'll just do the normal first smoke. Good nade from Geo. Actually doesn't really land on the mark at all. Good flashbang as well. Story at long though. That was the main man. He had to. He's struggling with impact in these last 2 rounds. But towards the later stages of the round where when they kind of need him the most, he doesn't step up. Geo dancing around. That's actually a pretty good round overall for Nemiga. Last round coming into the half, and Saw, can they get an AWP out?
Dude, that's a couple of times now, which has confused me because he's got the AWP again in this round and he's just on his own.
And then dies quite quickly.
So from what was 8-0 has now turned into 9-5. Will it be double digits for Saw? Or will Nemiga take 6? Wow, it's a battle out towards long. Lear will find Jerks. Heavy hitter for this Portuguese squad. And Roman tucks in at the blue bin. He's about to eat a nade. Oh. Might not even matter. Kills come in.
Belchnock.
Yeah, but he's sure he's holding for it.
Oh, Story at the last minute turns around. Well, the AWP does have impact this round. And it looks like Saw, you were saying they wouldn't be happy if they didn't get 11. They've got 10. Do you think that's good enough, Brandon?
I mean, yeah, it's still very good, but when you look at what they had, I guess of course you take 10-5. You then swap over to the CT side, that feels very good.
I think it's because the fact they got 2 in the last 7, but I think what is important is that they got this, I think the 2 rounds they just got have been in the past 3, right? So the rounds they've got have been close to the half, and now they can go with that success and that confidence they've just gone from this very clean round as well, and just go win. This is Nemiga coming from the closed qualifiers all the way to playoffs. Onerous-esque. And Onerous, they made quarterfinals when they did. Oh, imagine if that connected, Brandon. Imagine. I was just saying, Onerous, I think it was the CCT Series 2, Central Europe. They went close qualifier to quarterfinals. That was kind of one of the storylines. That's that's what you can do. And I think Nemiga have also proved as well. Same with, I think Copenhagen Flames came from the closed qualifier as well. So we've actually got like a fair few closed qualifier teams coming through and proving that like they are good enough, which is really good to see.
And they can still do it. That Cinderella story is still well and truly on the cards. They just need to do it the hard way. Battle back on the T side of Dust 2. Well, what are they doing over there? Still in the corner towards Long.
They were just like chatting. They're like, guys, what's the crack? Oh, Brandon, I just realized 0-0 Prospects also came from the closed qualifier. So 3 out of the 4 teams that qualified from the closed qualifier are in playoffs.
It's pretty good.
That's actually really good, especially considering like 0-0 Prospects, Literal Academy team, Nemiga have been like trying to prove themselves, and Copenhagen Flames, brand new team. Overall, I'd say that's a pretty decent turnout now. But now, for this pistol round, the T side have dispersed from their mother's meeting, and they'll be going towards that B bomb site. The problem is, they've lost their lurk, and Josh has a lot of space here with these dual Berettas. And he would have heard the bomb drop, I don't know. Would he?
Maybe not. Well, they've gone to A. So, no, I guess.
I guess not, yeah.
Oh, well. Nemiga will take that all day long. Just even gets caught out. 4 versus 4. And his balance goes one further. That's the bomb secured. It's a difficult retake for Saw, but what is that from Jerks?
Exactly what they needed on this start of this retake. They needed some sort of success, and now he'll be leading the charge. Story has that kit. Make sure to watch out for that man, and he will actually be the first to go in. Non-armored will be falling. Mutarus, he knows where the kit has fallen. He knows where these 2 players are, but they're ducking and diving super well. He needs to connect a shot. 2 bullets left in his magazine. Shoots away them both, pulls out the knife, dances around, and he does knife, and Lear is on 1 HP. Ouch.
That is so rough.
That is so unfortunate.
1. Again, what a weird pistol. In the round prior, like Nemiga grouped everyone towards B. That round Saw just rotated everyone towards A off the back of 1 kill.
Things you love to see. If you're an Nemiga fan, that is. Yeah, Honorous, they came top 8. Oh, 5th to 8th. And they won 2K, so you can go. And they're in the closed. They went from the closed qualifiers to the main stage in this Central Europe thing, and they're yet to play. So it'd be interesting to see how they're fair in this one. And now the Nemiga started to really prove themselves, in my perspective. This is where, if you come back from this stage as Nemiga, I think that's when you really prove yourself. And they're going to pop onto this B bomb site. 5 players here, into the hands of Just, into the hands of Story. The rotations are very quick as well. Roman is the other defender to fall. The bomb site should be theirs. And just about, it will be, but it was close.
They're thinking about going for this. They get offered a kill here. That's to be Foster. Even trade. Story's just holding so far back, though. I don't think they really want to commit. They just want to grab the guns and get out, but Jerks. Very good opportunity to give this one a go, and given the low HPs, Story was giving this a consideration instead of just going to play for exits, but Lear will deny him that opportunity.
Well, that's the round that Nemiga needed. And this game has all of a sudden become a lot closer. 8th will be guaranteed. And we're kind of same as what we saw on Nuke, Brandon. As I was saying, the reason that the comeback is possible, it does just come down to the first proper gun round. You have 2 tests. You have the gun round, and then you have the anti-force by there, and then the gun round. That's the 2 tests for this comeback. If they get past both of them, I believe.
This should just be an 8th. However, we have seen the USPs cut it close, especially on Inferno, right? And they haven't stacked the correct position. This is going to be an all-out war on the silenced pistols. Try and get this one over the line for Saw. There goes the flash anti.
Oh, wow.
All the kills coming in a matter of moments. It's just one on the way out. Doesn't matter too much at all.
It's actually better, if anything, because the Mac 10's removed, so they can actually buy the AWP straight away into this one. So it's kind of almost like makes you feel better about not wasting money. And the Mac 10 kill, the $600, also actually allows for the full utility.
Yeah, not too bad at all, right? But here we go.
As I said, Brandon, if they win this, I believe.
Let's see it then. Got good control out towards long early. 2 players start on B for Saw. And yeah, it's just a bit more of a default from Nemiga. Belchnock immediately deploying this hinge smoke. Dropping down the utility towards. This is all so common. This is all what we expect to see on a default from Dust 2. You know it, you love it.
Average Dust 2. It's literally like, I think the more I watch Dust 2 is the more I realize like, the rounds are literally identical.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, it's a very just bog standard. You do the exact same stuff. There isn't a huge amount of depth potentially, but you can make depth, especially with the utilization of mid to Bs, forcing utility out long, or as a city side controlled push and pulled aggression. But right now, you've got Jert really deep in long. That necessarily isn't the best thing, because firstly, really far rotation. Secondly, if they did come up short, he can't really help, and now so he's actually come back to support, and it will help in this rotation. Murtis is looking to push through the smoke at the perfect time.
What?
What? I just managed to no scope through the smoke. Geo finds just on B, and it is just Story and Jerts all by themselves. Jerts is the only player that got to kill that round, and I think it was just through the smoke. So that mid to B was so prolific, and Saw are now going from 0-8 or 8-0 up to now leading by only 1.
And not a single round on the CT side. That smoke had a little bit of a gap in it, so where Muteris tried to go through, Idispan's just caught him in the edge of his vision. Very difficult for Saw, but Nemiga, they're still fighting tooth and nail, round after round, to make this one a close affair and to win out the map just as in its entirety.
Because of the save, though, they're going to have this big green. Story with the big green. And we were looking at the double scouts. I think Jerts had one. Will the double orbs ever come out? Let's see. First, they need to get over this stage. Fast, long aggression. Foster takes a lot of damage from the grenade. He's actually all by himself, and that'll be an easy kill for Saw. This could be a start of their first CT round, full stop, of this third map. And, well, this series, it really is getting very close, isn't it, Brandon?
Yeah, can't call it.
Yeah, I do not know where it's going to lie up at.
This reminds me of Nuke, actually.
It's literally identical, but this one feels like Nemiga are a little bit more contestable, and they've won that first gun round. The problem is now, if they fall here, that's a big confidence blow. And also, you're still trailing as Nemiga. What they want to be doing is they want to get in a position where they're either equal. I didn't know you could drop a silent there. That's cool. And yeah, they want to get into the advantage and not be trailing. Oh, they will catch a timing though, but it doesn't matter because Roman is covering fire. He'll survive on 41 HP and he'll take 2 with him. Perfect there from the B anchor, and a lot better than last round.
Yes, flawless so far. Idisbalanced Lear just needs to fall back 30 seconds. They're just going to save. They can't do anything. Look at Jerks. He's already pushing the issue. Already locking them off in T-spawn. How far are they going to fall back? Because he's in this little naughty corner. And I haven't spotted him at all.
Yeah, he could. I mean, like, they know they're here as well because he can hear them jump peeking. He knows exactly what Lear's doing. So he's going to. Oh, he's just like, oh, hello, Mr. Orper. I will shoot you in the back of the head now. And I'll even get both of them. Perfect. Happy days. That's 11. And Nemiga also don't save anything.
Yeah, that's massive. I mean, they've got money, so they can just drop over and it's fine. But yeah, that round was flawless, if I'm not mistaken, from Saw, which is huge. Off the back of the gun round that wasn't as successful last time.
Big shout as well to our partners over at Bitskins who are helping support this this Champions of Champions tour. Make sure to go check them out. But now, Nemiga, they're on a run. They're going through long very, very quickly. This time, they're not going to lose Foster early on. They're going to have players supporting him. Not as much early damage. Lear has taken a big chunk. But wait, hello? Saw? Why have they all just left A? They're re-aggressing middle here. They're taking this space off Nemiga that Nemiga don't own. And Saw are doing really well to just gain all this control. Nemiga don't realize this, but they got to go now.
It looks like they're going to do it as well. Belchanok already forcing the issue. They're going to drop the smokes early. But look at this. They've got all the control, and now Saw are going to rotate in. Is it too little, too late? Good grenade. Gutierrez spots some shadows, but can't quite line up the dots. Now the spam through the smoke will come in. Players, 3 of them, brought down to half HP. Story with the opener, but Geo will find one. Belchanok on top of the site, but just completely nails him. That bomb, in amongst all the chaos, gets planted. 4 versus 2, though. It's in favor of Saw.
Geo has just replaced Belchanok with all of this bomb site. He'll get the first. Sees the second player short. They know where all 3 of these defenders are. The smoke will fade, so Geo will have to drop down now. And it all is down to Geo. The Estonian will get past the first hurdle. He's taken quite a lot of damage. And it will be the Orpa to neutralize him. Nemiga, they lose 2 in a row there. They do get the bomb down, but their money's in a really bad position. Saw on to 12. 4 rounds away from closing out this map and closing out this series. A weird kerfuffle of a round, but it, I guess, goes in their favor.
I mean, Geo's on 7,200. And they're on 2-stage loss. I mean, like, he could even buy an AWP and it'd be fine for next. I mean, he could even drop some Mac 10 so they could go for like a fast B, maybe. I don't know. I'm just trying out suggestions.
Throwing out suggestions. Oh my god, wow.
He spent all of his money, so he's dropped over a lot of weapons to people.
Yeah, but I mean, like, have you not just seen Out of Balance destroy Just?
Oh yeah, it was mental.
Yeah, bam. That's exactly what they need in this round. That's the start. If they ever need anything, somehow that's the one thing they've gotten, and that's not something you can ever even predict as well.
Reaping their way forward through the tunnels. Gutierrez could drop a grenade here. It could be massive, but they've actually just walked past the entranceway. They're going straight in towards middle. Story could be caught off. Roman steps in.
Ooh.
In fact, he hasn't got any kills. Lear's found 2 on the Tech 9, and suddenly Nemiga just win every fight.
That, like, I was actually struggling to keep up with what was happening because there was like a short crunch while that was happening. But Nemiga, they haven't broken the economy of Sword just yet. However, that round is monumental. Their economy was on a thigh, it was literally, the ice was so thin. And what they've done is they've done it quite somewhat cleanly. They have 5 rifles. So they have the AWP still, but their money is in tatters. They lose this, and Nemiga, they have a chance yet again.
Foster's just being left alone here in long, so if any Saw players push the issue, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. Again, it's more of this default. We know what to expect. 2 players in towards B once again for Saw. Flash. Oh, it doesn't matter.
No
Foster
way.
still finds jerks.
I've never actually seen that work, Brandon. I've never seen that boost actually provide anything, and it does, and that's perfect. Again, of all rounds, Nemiga needed time to provide, and it would be that. But Belchnok, yet again, this aggression, it works against lower tier opponents, but not against an opponent like Saw. And it's showing he's consistently being neutralized. And that's an advantage that Nemiga didn't have to give up, but they will. What it does allow as well, Roman is not even afraid of middle anymore. He's rotated towards A. So Nemiga, they are executing A. And yes, they do have so much more utility. But Roman is here, and now they will be popping into it. Molotov missed on sight. That actually will give Murtis a little bit more space. Flashbangs going through, leading the charge. The IGL will be killed in the side of the head. He was playing anti-flash, but the flashes weren't coming. And Murtis, no way is this the round that Nemiga lose. They had the advantage, and ever since that, they've barely even done. They've literally done 1 point of damage, and it will be Roman to finish it off. That A defense standing so solid, and the Portuguese powerhouse are looking to advance further in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, that one's rough. That
was a bad round from Nemiga overall.
It's that Molotov missing that really does everything, to be honest, because Muteris can just stand there and fight them one by one, and as soon as he needs to reload, Roman can just pop his head up. I was a little bit concerned because I would have thought Story would be holding that. Instead, he was out towards Log. Oh, boost not coming up. It's just the eco. Story got to be careful not to be overwhelmed, but he's still hitting every shot anyway.
Okay, so it's pretty good actually from Saw here. If they can keep it like this, if Roman can just trap them inside middle, for instance, and if Muteris, how is it? Is it Muteris?
That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, lol. By Belchnok. That is a dirty headshot. He was on 1 HP anyway, but nice little bit of flare. And well, he holds down the bomb site against full bars and he holds it down against ecos. Perfectly done. And that's Saw 2 rounds away now from taking us out of the series.
Yeah. Yeah, this gun round has to be it now for Nemiga. Otherwise, you look at their loss bonus. If they lose this round, they have nothing. Absolutely nothing.
This is getting really scary for Nemiga. Do or die. They've got to show up. They've got to show us why they're here. They have fought so long, so hard to get to this position. 3-0 in the group stage they went, surprising us all, taking down some really just top teams. And now they're on the back foot once again in this map, like they have been the whole time. But this time it's really getting towards the end. And Gio, he does catch a timing, but Muteris does fall away in time. They forced out a Molotov, so it's good they just expend that they're making Saw expend utility early on unnecessarily.
They're going to go in towards mid again. Roman Story are here. Fires off a shot with the incendiary. Roman, oh, he goes anti-flash, it doesn't matter.
What?
All the kills are coming through. But the B bomb site is completely opened up.
No, the B bomb was open. Foster's just got a kill jumping around. They will boost up, but it's too late. Idaspan's and Foster, it's all down to them. Idaspan's having a very slow game. Lowest kills in the server. If there was ever a time to show up, it would be now. Saw with all 3 defenders retaking from middle, retaking from CT. Molotov towards door. Idaspan's with 1 flashbang. Does he even choose to use it? I don't think so.
Great Molly forces Foster away. They're all going to come through the doors. Foster's going to fight them head on. And he lines them up. He's good for the second. And Story, they're all dead, mate. You can defuse the bomb. Saw will get 15. And with that bomb plant, it might give them just a little bit more cash, but it's still not the most ideal scenario. Orp can even be picked up on the way out. Chooses the skin he wants to boot.
You see that Molotov? Yeah, look at that.
That's
Foster.
ridiculous.
Yeah, lol, unlucky. So Foster's playing anti-flash here, waiting for the enemy's flashbang, and they don't have anything, so they just go in dry. Idaspan's yet again unable to connect anything, and it just goes all the way down to Foster. He's trying his hardest, but the problem is Saw are now on their match point. A beautiful Molotov thrown out by Story last round pretty much guaranteed them the win, and now Saw with such an advantage. Look at this. They've got They're up against 3 Galils, an AK, and a Scout. The utility's done. They've got no Molotovs, a handful of flashbangs, 4 smokes, and they've barely even started the round.
They've gained all this ground as well. They pushed top middle early, then fallen back in. They had 2 players deep short, and they've fallen back in as well. So they know roughly what's going on. Really good grenade as well. What a follow-up. Incendiary on the floor. They can't go anywhere. Nemiga, they're penned in.
Potentially almost like the start of the end. And, well, honestly, the fact it was 8-0 and it got this close, I think is almost as more impressive for Nemiga. But it got to the stage where Nemiga probably could have just actually taken the lead and won. And while I was talking about this low utility, Brandon, they're using a lot for a fake to mid to B. And the problem is, it's not faked anything. Look how strong Saw are holding. Saw are still here, refined, and not moving at all. 40 seconds left. You've got Muterus in Goose. He's been so powerful time and time again. A flashbang will land in front of Story, and that's the first pick they needed. Muterus has been spotted out. 30 seconds left. He'll get boosted up. Belchadok has come into action at the perfect time. Geo as well, holding up the rotations in middle, using their smokes they dropped before to perfect use. And they'll even get just. This is what Nemiga needed. They survive flawlessly, and they'll even be able to pick up the orb. What? Of all rounds, that's the one?
That's a really cool idea as well. We've seen these smokes a couple of times throughout the CCT where they land left and right. In the middle, it's a mid to B, and then it also looks like a mid to A. They drop one player down in towards CT spawn, but they've already got a player walking through the cusp of the smoke. Geo walks through the other one, makes ground up towards B to cut rotations off. That's a really cool idea, and look what it's done to the money. Double scouts for Saw.
I'm shocked. Yeah. I mean, they don't have a buy next round. Yeah, like they don't have a buy. I think they're just hard saving. I think what Saw are doing here is they're not forcing the issue. They know they're like these scouts kind of putting them on the same level, and yeah, they just die. So that's kind of guaranteed 13 for Nemiga right now. Overtime question mark?
Not there yet.
Not there yet, but we're not far off, honestly. We're literally 1 gun round away from overtime.
Jerks has found a kill at the very least. Can he be offered up any more? He's still hanging around here. He wants to take the fight straight to Nemiga. He wants to make this as expensive as possible.
He's going to lose.
He doesn't. Well, Geo will find him. And now it just looks like Just wants to save. Roman also thinking the same thing. So it will be 12. Yeah, it's 1 step closer.
Okay. I'm a believer, Brandon. I don't know about you, but I believe in the Nemiga supremacy. I believe in Belchanok has stopped trolling and is actually going to start owning everyone. Okay. As I said, they won't have a buy this round. So they had 1900 coming into this. They'll have 2400 next round. You can see that they're not really buying too much because that is just Saw now wanting the best buy they can possibly get in round number 29. But if they lose that in round 29, in round number 29, they're not going to really have anything to go off on. And it will be pretty much guaranteed overtime. Here, damage isn't even that. Damage doesn't even matter that much because Nemiga, they have enough money to buy into next round. And then, for instance, you're kind of only going for the round win. It doesn't matter how close they get.
Difference now is that Saw are all over on this A-bomb site. Called in the troops. And they're even going to get boosted up. So Story can't find a thing. But Muterus can. 1-for-1 trades, and there's still more players, but Foster is killing all of them, striking them down. 4 versus 2. This feels a lot more comfortable.
All right, Foster's been owning it in this second half. Towards the end specifically, Foster's been on a mad one. And well, Nemiga, this is not normally a map for them. And they're going to really prove themselves. Round number 29, Saw 15, Nemiga 13. If there was ever a time for everyone to step up individually for them, it would be now. Hey, what a nice shots.
All right, this is it.
This is it. Do or die.
Jerks wants to be proactively taking this fight. Look at Lear at B.
I think he got tagged in that Molotov at the end. I think he would have gone through if it wasn't, but that was a nice little gimmick. That could have gone really wrong.
Oh, leaving nothing to chance. That's
But they
brilliant.
Wait. Muterus is top mid. Wait, what? Muterus is top mid and eliminated Foster. So Saw have the whole of middle, the whole of long as well. Look at Jerks. So the bomb is actually stuck top middle right now. Idus Balance has the orb, peering around. A minute left on the clock, and
They're
Saw
trapped.
just have dominated. This is still, though, I can see a world where all the kills just tumble in their favor. Idus Balance still looking for Muterus, and you've got them being cautious of long. Oh, but they've stopped looking at long now. And Muterus, yeah, he'll get killed, he'll get attacked between both of them, pincered. Belchnock does open this B bomb site though. Look at Roman. Roman could be the linchpin, and Belchnock's actually looking for him. Belchnock will be here to try put the end to this, and he does, but the bomb does die. And the player's coming from 9 HP. He sees them. Well, he gets actually hit. He's trying to find the pick, scoping in and out. They hear that scope, they know he's close, and he will get away. He picks up the bomb, 17 seconds, doesn't realize they're both behind him. Misses the Molotov, peers around, eliminates Muterus, 10 seconds left. Oh, he's got the read, but he's going to go plant. Jerks running forward, will miss the shot. Belchnock can't plant,
No
4
time.
seconds, that's GG. Oh, yet again, 2 games in a row, 2 series in a row. The winning team has closed out the series because of the time running out. First it was Entropic, now it's Saw. Belchnock has tried his hardest, but to no avail. And the CIS team, even though they've tried their hardest, they will have come through the close qualifier, and they've been eliminated by the Portuguese powerhouse Saw. They advanced to the quarterfinals.
They put up a very good showing though, and the fact that Saw win that just because they push every single extremity, every single just avenue, right? They push mids, they push long, they push B. It's just complete overwhelming pressure, and it's just not enough for Nemiga to battle on and hold. And commiserations to them, but congratulations to Saw, who are an invited team that we've casted that actually make it through to the next stage.
Yeah, and that's very, very interesting. But we still do have quite a few matches left for today. We've actually got 2 matches left. K23 versus Copenhagen Flames is next, and I'm pretty sure it's Wild Deity and MNJ that's taking you through that. I could be wrong though. And there's Ecolot versus Fnatic Rising. Volt, the English boy, Sebastian. I believe in him. He's here to bring us forward. But I don't know if we've got the MVP ready just yet of that series. But it was an absolute goated one, and I feel like without even seeing it, it has to be Jerks, right? I'm just on the basis of he was the only player positive for Saw going into map number 3, and then was one of the main reasons. But yeah, we'll actually be showing the MVP after the commercials next map, before the next series. But I guarantee it's Jerks. He's had a great one, and Nemiga, consolidations to them, Brandon. They really did try their hardest. They made that so close. And it was just so unlucky. Literally maybe like 2 seconds left and they would have maybe even won it.
Yeah, very unlucky to them, unfortunately. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. And, well, it can happen 2 times in a morning or in a broadcast, because we're actually now in the afternoon. We are going to throw this to a very short break, though. When we come back, it'll be the remainder of the broadcast. It'll be 2 new casters sat in the hot seat. Take care. We'll see you in a bit.
See you guys.